All right, I think we're live. All right, Emmy, good. Good. Yeah, good morning, Emmy. Let's make sure the mic. Okay, that looks good. Let's get this. All right. All right. I think we are fully in operational battle station now. And what a morning. What a morning. Been pretty crazy. Nice. Already at 7 likes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff. Morning, Clay. Quick question. What trading platform are you trading on? Like, how you can just click? Good morning, Clay. How about the roller coaster that is Tesla? Yeah, I mean, Tesla, it's kind of been a roller coaster, but I trade futures more, and futures make Tesla look like it's barely even moving. But that's just not necessarily. I mean, it is kind of a rip on Tesla. And now I'm talking from the day trading standpoint. So, Ross, I'm not quite sure what framework you're talking about things, but from the framework of day trading, futures trading, which is what I'm doing, makes Tesla movement look like pretty much paint drying. But as you people, so what I'm doing is trading through a prop firm. So the first step to get to the platform, I shoot people, would be if you want to use Take Profit Trader, who's I'd recommend, you'd select what sort of purchasing power do you want, and then during the checkout phase, they'd ask you what broker do you want to use, and you would want to select Tradeovate. That's which one I'm using that you've seen. And then what's nice about it is Take Profit Trader, the prop firm, will go and create the Tradeovate account for you. So you do not have to go to Tradeovate site and go through the sign up process and go through that big hassle to create an account. You don't have to do any of that. Take Profit Trader does that for you. Then they'll send you the login information so that you can log into Tradeovate and then trade through there. So just kind of one of those even hidden benefits of using a prop firm is they'll just create these secondary accounts for you and save yourself a lot of time and hassle. But yes, that is the account that I am using, and that's how it would work, assuming you want to do trading through the prop firm itself. I was on the right side this morning. I had a reset from I was on the right side this morning after I had a reset from the last 2 trading nights. Well, I'm glad you're on the right side, Red Tiger. As you know, I was not on the right side, but we'll get that in a little bit. Yeah, Ross, I understand that seems like it's a crazy move, but it's really not, again, compared to futures. So to quickly illustrate that on how that was not really a crazy move, if you want to see a crazy move, let's do some quick math here. So right here, let's just call it, this went from about that area right there, 18,920, to up here, let's just call it, to be conservative, let's just call it 19,100. So let's do a little bit of math real quick. And again, I'm just showing you how Tesla, in all actuality, wasn't that crazy compared to, again, futures, which is why I say futures is by far the best thing to trade. So 19,100 minus, what did I say? Because I'm not good at math, 18,920. So that was 100. Now in futures, things are measured in points. So the difference here was 180, as we see right there. Now these would be called points. And in futures, in this particular contract, 1 point equals $20. So how much was this move worth? And this move happened in literally a couple of minutes. So let's do some more quick math here. If 1 point is worth $20, so we've got to multiply that by 20. So that was $3,600 that could have been made very, very cheaply. How cheaply? Well, if you're using a prop firm, you could have gotten one of those contracts for $105. So if you had $105, you could have gotten one of those contracts that, for those contracts, 1 point equals $20. But you could have actually gotten up to 3 of those contracts. So for $105, you could have gotten 3 of those contracts. So 3,600, well, that was only per contract. But if you had 3, we got to multiply that by 3. So that move right there. Now, of course, I'm assuming that nobody's going to play it perfectly. I'm just saying that the scale and movement just doesn't make Tesla. I mean, Tesla's like boring. Tesla's watching paint dry. That could have been $10,800. And again, how much money would have been required out of your pocket? $105. So, yeah, I mean, Tesla moved this morning. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it didn't move. I'm just saying that, relatively speaking, compared to futures, Tesla was kind of like boring and watching paint dry. Yeah, Ross says that's insane. That's what I mean. That's why I argue right here for Pam's plant. Pam's plant is just the argument to trade futures through a prop firm. But yes, that's why I am in full argument of that. But yes, I agree, Ross. It is insane. If you're a day trader and if you want movement, right here, yeah, futures will deliver you movement. That's for sure. That is for sure. But yes, I agree. It is pretty insane. Paradigm of ambition. Hey Clay, quick question. Do you know why maybe my Tradeovate results aren't showing up on my... Are you talking about on your dashboard, Paradigm of Ambition? Usually there's about a day's worth of delay. So things aren't going to show up right away. There is a slight delay from like when you're doing your trades, it's showing up in your Take Profit Trader dashboard. So nothing, assuming I'm understanding your question the right way, yeah, nothing to worry about. Morning, Clay. I put in the withdrawal request. Awesome, Evil Shadex. Awesome. I'm using Tradeovate, both Apex, because it was 80% off. Would it be the same as yours because it's both Tradeovate? Yeah, it would be the same. Hopefully, Nick, you are not a beginner to the prop firm world. If you are, you got a journey ahead of you. That's for sure. Good. All right. As a reminder, as always, if you've been here before and you know that you're going to enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. If you are brand new, never been here, first off, welcome. Great to have you. No need to hit that like button because I get it. You have no idea if you're going to like, but we're going for 100 likes by the 2-hour mark. We're at 19 already, so we're off to a good start here. But again, like I said, if you know that you're going to enjoy, or maybe you're new and you're already enjoying, hit that like button. Hey, Clay, how many hours do you spend sitting at your computer for trading? If I didn't do live streaming, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. An hour. Well, I would say 90 minutes at most, but since I moved into futures, not even 90 minutes. Like you could very realistically be done within 30 minutes, if not an hour. But like I said, because I'm doing these live streams now, I'm at my computer a lot longer than that. But I'm not necessarily at the computer to trade. I'm at the computer to live stream, if that makes sense. I don't know, Nick. That's why Apex has a ton of rules, a ton of bonkers rules. So I don't know. I'm not going to try to help it. I can explain Take Profit Trader rules because I'm not that smart. Take Profit Trader rules is so black and white, so streamlined. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm completely sold on trading futures through a prop firm. Very good. Have you done it, or are you going to go and try it? Well, Elusive Lens. That name looks familiar. I think you've probably already done it. Today, though, we'll let some more. Well, yeah, we need to get up to at least 50 likes, and then I'll get into my day. Because my day, yeah, like I said. Once we get up to 50 likes, we'll get into my day. Okay, you just started. Okay, so you are completely sold on trading futures. Now, my question, Elusive, for a little interview here. What did you day trade before futures? Because you're saying you are completely sold on trading futures through a prop firm. In other words, Elusive Lens is sold on Pam's plant. Because that's what Pam's plant is. Pam's plant is trading futures through the prop firm. So what were you trading beforehand out of curiosity? What were you... Stocks and options. So you were day trading stocks and options. And it's given that, I don't want to speak for you, but given the fact you said you are completely sold, it sounds like you would say, whoa, Clay, you were right. Futures, from a day trading's perspective, move. They're just better than stocks and options. Is that what I'm understanding? Do we have our newest convert? Do we have our newest Pam's plant convert? Absolutely. Well, Elusive, I thank you for trusting Pam's plant to at least give it a try. And here we go. For anybody on the fence, That's why I say if you are day trading stocks, if you're day trading options, if you're day trading forex, if you're day trading crypto, you are wasting your time. Those things are garbage compared to day trading futures through a prop firm, and that can be backed up mathematically. And yet, right here we have Elusive Lens as our newest person that was like, "Whoa, Clay, yep, you were right. I was day trading stocks and options, but wow, futures. There we go." Yeah, futures is the way. Screwed it. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Yep, that's the easy defeater as far as somebody that's wanting to day trade options. Why would you put yourself through theta? Like, why? Why choose to deal with theta? I made 76K on options last month and lost so much this month. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't make a lot. I'm just saying that the risk, and again, there's other reasons why, but the built-in risk profiles are just so much better with the prop firms. All right. Well, so I take it you don't day trade. Wait, are you? I recognize that name. Are you from the community? Are you who I think you are from the community? I don't want to, but that name looks familiar. Please don't tell him. Oh my goodness, where have you been? Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. You got like, are you trolling right now? Come on, man. Okay, if you've been gone for 3 months, I guess that does kind of checks out because that still puts us just back in January. Yeah, I changed over to, which you know because you've been part of the community. You know the community's been trying to get me to go to futures for the longest time. So I finally gave it a try in November, and wow, I wish I had done it way sooner. Yes, I can say as a former day trader of stocks and options, those things are pure and utter garbage compared to, again, I'm emphasizing the word day trading because I'm in the category of day trader. I'm not saying anything about swing trading or investing, but day trading, yeah, stocks and options. As a former stock and options trader, they are utter garbage compared to futures. If the profit was so great, was the loss also so large? No, that's the beautiful part about Pam's plant. The added risk control, meaning you can protect your own money. So, Ross, in Thailand, if you go with a prop firm, your risk is only what you put into it. Now, they will take the account away from you. So if you lose, for example, on this account, if you lose 1,500, now this is all within a simulated phase because it's a test portion of the journey. So it's not like, because I understand people say, well, how is that a sustainable business model? They only get 105 from you, but you're allowed to lose 1,500 of their own money. Again, the test phase here is the simulated part of the program. And then once you move from test into pro, that's where you get to start to keep that money and make that money. But during the test phase, you could lose $1,500. And yes, they would technically take the account away from you. But at that point, does that mean... So let's say two things. You're trading Tesla. So let's just say, for example's sake, that you're day trading Tesla, and then or you're day trading futures with a prop firm. But there's just a big move. So big move. Somebody is losing all 1,500 of their own money. Well, that would be if you're using your own money to trade Tesla, and something crazy happens, and you lose $1,500. Well, that's 1,500 of your money. Now, in the prop firm world, sure, you do. They'll take the account away from you. You can always get it back for $100. But they will take the account away from you if you get stuck in that same crazy movement. And they'll take it away if you lose the $1,500. However, did you actually lose the $1,500? You didn't. You only lost the cost of the account. So that's what I mean. There is that built-in risk buffer of protection because you have very, very minimal of your money actually at risk. So if you go on tilt or you get stuck in a crazy spike, hint, hint, stick around as I show you my results. But if one of those crazy moves happen, you know what? It's not like you have a ton of money coming out of your wallet. If you're using your own money in stocks or options, or quite frankly, if you're day trading futures with your own money, then yeah, if you have one of those crazy days and it really spikes and or you go on tilt, well then every single penny that you lose, that's coming out of your pocket. Not so with the prop firms. It would only be the cost of the account. So that's what I mean, and that's what this is being represented here about the nice thing about prop firms. There's that added risk control, which is how it allows you to protect your own money because, quote unquote, your own money is, invested in everything in a very, very minimal way. So good question. Again, we got to get this up to 50 likes, and then I will go into my day. And wow, my day was quite the day. Getting some more movement here. Wonder, does it come down here and bounce off that level again like it did back here? Maybe, but it's already bouncing back up. So we'll have to see. What are you allowed to take from your profit every 2 weeks? See, I don't, Nick, you chose to go down the pathway what I tell people not to go down. I said if you are a beginner to the world of prop firm trading, go with Take Profit Trader. If you're advanced, then yeah, I don't have anything against Apex, but Apex is so much more complicated, so many more rules. So Nick, yeah, you chose to kind of go with the cheaper option, even though it's not actually cheaper, because now you're realizing, okay, wow, this is gonna be complicated. So I don't know, man. I don't know how that works. Take Profit Trader, you can request money whenever you want and in whatever amount. I do know with Apex, you are not allowed to request money whenever you want, and you are not allowed to request it in any amount. Whoa, look at this now. So yeah, you're asking me questions about the broker that I don't know a whole lot of. I just know that they are more for an advanced person within the world of prop firms. Yeah, if you want clean rules, Take Profit Trader is where it's at. If you want to be able to request money whenever you want and request money in whatever amount you want to request that money, Take Profit Trader is where you want to go. Now, that may seem like, what do you mean? Why is that such a special thing? Well, other prop firms, and again, this does not make them a scam, but other prop firms, let's just say you make $5,000, they'll say, okay, yeah, you made $5,000, but you can't request money. You can only request money every couple of weeks. And every couple of weeks, you can only request up to like $2,000. But I made $5,000. Yeah, we know, but you can only request up to $2,000 right now. Whereas Take Profit Trader says, no. If you made $5,000, you can request $5,000. You can request that money whenever you want, and you can request all $5,000. So is Take Profit Trader the absolute cheapest prop firm to get involved with? No, I mean, they're not like super expensive either. I'm just saying maybe you do pay a little bit more, but you're getting a whole lot of flexibility in the sense of how they pay, and then just a very clean, direct set of rules. Hey, Frank, hit that like button. We got to get to 50. I love how people keep asking about my day when we're not at 50 likes. Once we get up to 50 likes, I will get into my day. Options and stocks are total garbage. Listen to this guy, folks. Pam's plant works. Thank you, Elusive Lens. Again, and thank you for just trusting. Thank you for trusting me to at least try Pam's plant. Because I'm telling you, if you're a day trader and you go with Pam's plant, again, day trading futures through a prop firm, you're going to be like, oh, wow, that was kind of, like I said, I'm still upset at myself for being stubborn for so long. Now, I'm not necessarily upset at myself for the prop firms. I think I was wise to be leery of prop firms, but we had plenty of guinea pigs and lab rats within my private community that were like, well, Clay, worst case, it's a scam and I'm out a couple $100. But I've seen enough of people getting paid, enough of people like not getting scammed. Now, there have been scammy prop firms, but the ones that I recommend, which are only two, they have a track record of paying. They've been around. And so, yeah, I wanted to be a little bit leery on the prop firms, but as far as yeah, man, I've heard, which is proven to be true with me, if you are a day trader and you survive long enough in the world of day trading, you will eventually end up day trading futures, just because futures, they're just better. They just are. And like I said, we have our newest, convert here, Elusive Lens in the chat there. Well, thank you, Frank. I'm glad you hit the like button as soon as you get here. That is much appreciated. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, James. Good morning, Alan. If I missed Pam's plant, what is that? Man, you got to hang around. Right here. This is Pam's plant. This is the argument to day trade futures through a prop firm. I'm not going to go through all the points, but that's what it's talking about. The first Pam's is why you should day trade futures, and then plant is the reasoning of why you should use a prop firm to do so. But that is Pam's plant. And Pam's plan is undefeated so far. Nobody has been able to show up and tell me how that's a bad idea. Not a single person. The best attempts have been to attack me, but that's not attacking the idea. That's not attacking the argument. Ross, Ross, Do you know how to read charts? Would be my first question. Like, do you know how to, like, technical analysis? Are you a chart trader? Would you say that you're a technical trader using charts? Ahmed, Clay, you're the GOAT. You're not gonna think so after I show you my results, which in 9 more likes, we're going into my results. So you will not be saying I'm the GOAT after we get into that. That's for sure. Okay. Well, yeah, exactly. Ken says you had me sold at no PDT rule. Exactly. That sells most people. If you're trying to day trade stocks or options and you don't have $25,000, you will fall under the pattern day trader rule, which basically means you can't be a day trader because day traders should be able to day trade as much as they want every single day. But pattern day trader rule does not make that happen, does not allow for that to happen. I recognize certain charts and patterns. Okay, Ross, so the only difference with futures is instead of those, what did you say? Those certain charts and patterns that you're using to, let's say, for example, trade Tesla, you're now using those certain patterns to trade futures. That's it. Because futures, they're just charts. Like I could lie to people and say, if I blacked everything out and said that, okay, we're looking at Forex or we're looking at a stock right now, nobody would be able to tell the difference because it's just charts, right? I could look at an isolated candle and be like, okay, is this a candlestick for stocks, options, Forex, futures? And like, I don't know. Exactly. That's the power of charts. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to have to learn something totally new. It's like, no, there's nothing. I mean, there's a couple of small things to learn about futures, mainly how to calculate the profits. But it's so much easier. They move in points, and the points are worth something. So if something moves 10 points, all you need to ask is, well, how much is 1 point worth? You do that quick multiplication, there you go. But besides that, if you know how to trade charts, then you're like 97% of the way to trading futures. Happy hump day. No, it's not a happy day for me. Come on, let's get 6 more likes. I want to just rip the Band-Aid off and move on. Is the current take profit Clay code best promo? It's been, yeah, no, it's always the best available. So yes, there's nothing better that take profit traders offering. Like there's not another code you could use to get a better deal. That code Clay does give you the current best deal. So we're headed back up. Oh, it actually already had. All right, just peaked its head above that trend line. I didn't notice that. So now the question becomes, is this the start of a bigger breakout? So the break has happened. So step 1 complete. But now we get to ask the always interesting question, is this the start of a bigger move? Nero, good morning. Okay, there we go, Ross. So you're proving my point. You're saying that the chart that I'm on right now, the last low I've never heard of a whip candle, but yeah. So apparently you already know what these whip candles are, and you just identified a whip candle on a futures, on a futures chart. So there you go. See, you're already trading futures via recognizing what you see. So that's what I mean. If you know charts, then you can trade futures. Other than a couple minor things of just understanding how a couple small little other things work. But besides that, it's just charts. Just charts. I mean, the current deal in general, is it the best deal there has been, or have they had better deals? Oh no, this is the best one. Whenever they do the 0 activation fee, it's always it's overall the best. Right? So the deal right now, that's not always a deal, is, so the way it works with prop firm, if you're not familiar, you have to first pass the test. And this is the same with all prop firms. You got to first prove yourself, right? Can you trade? Can you pass the test? And there's all the different prop firms have different requirements for quote unquote passing the test. But after you pass, you move to pro. But normally this jump here, so to make that leap, there is an activation fee. Again, this is same for all prop firms. They maybe call them different things, but there is a fee. And with Take Profit Trader, normally to make that jump, it costs you $130. So to quote unquote activate your pro account, it'll cost you $130. Now still, all things considered, you have such a minimal amount of money at risk. But as right now, this isn't even pertaining, because right now, if you use code Clay, then this does not exist. This is $0. There is no activation fee. So your all-in cost would simply just be the price of your test phase. Because once you get, now this does say per month, so I should note that after the test phase, so after you go from test into pro, there's no more monthly fee. So your all-in cost, assuming you pass within a month, and I would encourage you pass within a month. That's because futures move so quickly, you can pass within a month, very realistically. But if pass within a month, and then literally you're all in is 105. In fact, we had, I don't know if Mark's here right now, but we had a member, and he had, another thing about Pam's plant is copy trading, nuclear explosion growth. So you can get up to 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader, and then you can copy trade, meaning you trade all 5 at once. So what Mark did, and he was, and I'm talking about Mark because he showed the screenshot, so we know this is all true. He posted them in our private chat room, but Mark had 5 accounts. So he went and he got 5 $50,000 accounts. Now he actually, so let's just do the math here. So he had 5 accounts at 119 each. I know. So he had $595 of his own money invested into the prop firm. He passed those accounts, went to the pro account, and then he copy traded, meaning he only made 1 trade, but when he copied that trade, he copied it to the 4 other accounts. So it was like he was making that 1 trade 4 times. So within 1 account, he made $1,000. But because he copied that to the 4 other accounts, he made those trades 5 times. So he actually made $5,000. So he made $5,000. Now he does, because he's transparent, he ultimately broke some rules, so they took the accounts away from him. But the key thing here is, how much did he make before he broke the rules and they took the account away from him? Well, he made $5,000. So he made $5,000. His total investment was $595 minus 1 times 100. So that was a 740% return on his investment. Not too bad. Not too bad. That's Pam's plant. That's the power of copy trading, or just the fact that you have very little of your money at risk in the first place. So yes, and that's the name of the game. How much money can you make? Because blowing accounts is part of it. Now, yes, in an ideal world, you're never going to blow accounts, but you know what? That's just kind of part of the game. You lose accounts, and that's just the manner. But in his situation, before he lost those accounts, he had $5,000. And right there, as you saw the math, 740% return, not too bad. I don't know. How did I get on that top? No. Oh, yeah. KZ asked about the best deal. Then I started to talk about the activation fee. Okay, thanks. Because unsure if I should load up on some stock account. I don't think you mean... no, this is, yeah, I would say if you're wanting to load up on more deals and lock in the 0 activation fee, now would be the time. Now, they cycle in and out. Like the next deal, the promotion they do, I don't know when that'll start. I'm sure they'll discount the accounts more, but you'll have that activation fee back. So then it becomes a number of, okay, well, the other deal is actually going to be a little bit more expensive. Yes, Andrew, you did hit a nerve. I don't like when people take advantage of their family. So yes, I fully admit you hit a nerve. Nero, Clay, I started my enrollment a couple weeks back, but I have not received anything yet. Nero, what enrollment are you talking about? That's a couple weeks back. That's like you try to sign up for a test account? All right, let's go. Let's get 3 more likes. Get this up to 50 and I'll go over my day, which, yeah. Whoo. Two more. We got to factor in the JJ effect. Let's get 2 more likes. Get this up to fit. There we go. 51. Okay. So my day was not good, but it could have been way, way, way worse. And this will mean more to those of you that, I know, Clay, all you do is talk about Pam's plan. That's true, but because there are truths to Pam's... Thanks, Ken. Yes, use code Clay to save the children. That's funny. But thank you for the super chat. So yes, you've heard me talk about, but you've heard me always make the argument, if you're in anything and you're using real money, sometimes crazy moves happen. And if you're in a move, when a crazy move happens against you, it can get painful in a hurry. And that is what happened to me today. But the only difference being I was not using my own money. I was in a prop firm, so I had that insulated risk. Okay, so Nero, you're telling me you signed up with Take Profit Trader? Like you purchased one of their accounts? Is that what you're saying, Nero? So I was in a trade, and here's the kicker. I was $300 away from passing an account. So, because this is important to set up to. Okay, well, I'd email them or something because you should have that. It doesn't take 2 weeks to get a test account rolling. Usually that happens right away. But with the 50K, the goal is you're not allowed to lose 2,000, but the goal is to make 3,000. So I was at like I needed, like I said, $330 more, something like that. And then I would have passed this account. Fantastic. Then once you pass, as I said, you go from the test, and then that account would have been eligible for a pro account. So $300 away, I'm thinking, all right, I got this, no problem. I got this, no problem. Now, this all matters because it sets up, you'll see. So, we had this move here, coming down, and I don't remember exactly where, but I was like, all right, this is good. Let me just take a scalp here, and I'll be good to go. We have a lot of downside pressure. And I don't know. Down around here, I got short, meaning I wanted the prices to keep on going down. And then we all know what happened, or hopefully you know what happened. That news came out about, what was it? Now the something about the tariffs with China, but that news came out. And then this thing ripped over 100 points, just boom. And these are 2-minute candles. So, and if you're watching this action, you know exactly what I mean. But it was here, and then in the blink of an eye, whoosh, up it went. And if you are short as a beginner, being short means you want prices to go down, and that's how you make money. But if they go up, that's not good. And especially in the world of futures, like I said, this move here, let's see, 920 up to, this was over 100-point move in 2 minutes. In futures, that is pure crazy insanity. So that move here, did I have a hard stop in? No, because I thought it was just going to be a quick little move. But even if I had a hard stop in, I'm not sure that would have necessarily saved me just because of so much slippage. But even if I had a hard stop in, it would have been, it was a messy situation any way you look at it, because this was a huge spike in a very small amount of time. So I went from being very close to passing the account to account roasted. Why? Well, because I broke the rule. What rule did I break during the test phase? I lost more than $2,000. But here now is the power of Pam's plan. If I was trading futures and using my own money, that would have been $2,000, maybe even more. Because when it hits 2,000, they just they shut down the trade for you, and they're like, all right, you're done. But if this was my own money, that would have been minimum $2,000. And very realistically, even more, because even after they took me out, that thing shot all the way up here. So, all kidding aside, there were somewhere in the world, there are traders that had their entire account liquidated. Like, and when I mean all their money that they had in their account is gone now, because this was a crazy move. And like I said, if you were there and watching it, or if you experienced it, you know exactly what I mean. So there are some traders in the world, in the futures market, that they weren't using a prop firm. They're using their own money. And this right here, their account, they lost all their money in their account. Just a crazy move. But that is why I argue and why I say Pam's plan. Yes, it cost me, but there is that added risk control, meaning I was able to protect my own money. So yes, if this were you in that trade, you would have lost the account. But would you have lost all $2,000? You wouldn't have not. You would have lost just the cost of the account, which was $119. And I'll only speak for myself. If you get caught in a spike, I would rather have a spike, and I'm sure you would rather have a spike only cost you $119 compared to $2,000, if not even more. So that's a very real life example that just happened to me, I guess a couple hours ago, not even probably a couple hours ago. But while, yes, very frustrating because I was so close to passing, and then, like I said, I guess it was my fault, but in the same way, it wasn't my fault. Like, what? There is nothing you can do about random spikes. Random news that comes out, that's just random, right? It's just, wow. But that's why I love the prop firm, because it happened. That random news showed up, created a big move, unfortunately, against me. So, yes, I lost the account, but I didn't lose $2,000 or anything close to that. With that being said, though, that was still frustrating. And I had another account, traded the prop firm account yesterday, and I don't remember I don't even remember the trade because I was on tilt, but I went on tilt, and let's just show you the results. So right here, which one was it? I don't remember. I think this was Yeah, I think this was the one where not really my fault, just got caught in the spike, and that was just such a crazy move. It is what it is. Account roasted. But this one right here was totally my fault. Another roasted account. Tilt just I lost. I was so irritated. I don't even know what I was doing. Right when you're on tilt, you start imagining things. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back. And no, the market's like, no, Clay, you're on tilt. We're gonna hammer you. So that account is gone again. Though, the nice thing about the prop firms is when you do, like I said, we've had a couple of traders show up in the live chat and they claim, Clay, I never go on tilt. I'm very disciplined. I never have bad days. I always follow my rules. I never get emotional. I never revenge trade. I never force trades. I never go on tilt. Okay, like I wish I could be like those traders. I'm not sure I believe them, but let's just say I wish that I could say that I am always perfectly disciplined and always perfectly logical in my thought process. Unfortunately for me, that's not the case. And this was one where, again, being so close and then being all of a sudden because of a random event knocked out, yeah, that put me on tilt. That had me super irritated and frustrated. So the lesson here is don't go on tilt, kids, because this is what can happen. But the other thing is I'm glad, again, that I was on tilt in a prop firm because sure, it knocked me out. $2,000, that shows as a loss. But was that $2,000 out of my pocket? It wasn't. And it wouldn't be $2,000 out of your pocket either. It would have just been the cost of the account. So that's also what I mean by there's this built-in risk protection here where you are protecting in a way that it's protecting yourself against yourself. Because, yeah, when you go on tilt, things can spin out of control. So this was all my money. I mean, think about it. If this was all my money today, I'd be looking at a day of being down over $5,000. And I want to reiterate, it could have been more because when it just, when that big spike happened, once you hit the numbers, it just closes the trade down for you. But if that was my own money and I was like, no, I'm going to wait, that would have went up so much more. And eventually account, just like I said, then my broker would have closed the account and been like, hey, margin call, you're like, what are you doing? Nope, you're out. But yeah, this shows $5,100 pretty much gone. But if this was you, same situation, would you be down $5,100 out of your pocket? No, you would have lost two accounts. And if you spent, $119 on each account in total, you'd be less down than $300 on a really crazy, a really bad day. Really crazy in the sense of, it's crazy when a random spike happens because of news. So that's what the crazy. And a really bad, I did have a bad day. I went on tilt, which is always bad. But and if I explain myself properly here, the prop firm, in a sense, protected me from myself. But I am now also in the penalty box today. I am not doing any more trading. I have lost that opportunity. I will say this. The one thing that I did do right today is I did not touch these accounts here. These are my pro accounts. So as I was mentioning earlier, the way that it works is you got to first pass test in order to open up and get the pro accounts, because the pro accounts are where you start to, get to request money and make money and all that good stuff. So the one thing that I did do, I did not touch the pro accounts. And I tell you what, the voices showed up. After I roasted that second one, you want to go market? Let's go. Time to make some money in those pro accounts. Let's go, Clay. Load up on some NQs. And if you're a beginner, NQs are very, very volatile contracts. But Clay, let's load up on NQ. Let's make some money in these ones. Let's go. Let's go. But to my credit, and I put in the chat room, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm on tilt. I'm out. I was like, I'm going to go hang out with my kids for a little while. Go get yelled at for interrupting their homeschool. Because I sometimes do that. I go down, I start goofing around, and my wife's, to her credit, she's right. I'm wrong. Hey, we're in the middle of a lesson. What are you doing? I'm like, okay. But at this point, I was like, I'm going to justify it because I'm on tilt, so I'll get yelled at. But I went down, stepped away, and just kind of in reflection, I was like, all right, I'm done. Penalty box. So I am not making any more trades the rest of the day. I have proven to be a moron today. I have proven to not, I'm just in the penalty box. I'm not going to, again, and I'm sure there's still a little bit of tilt left in me somewhere. So that's where I stand. That's my day. I am in the penalty box. And it happened. So, hey, if you've had a day like this, where, and to me, today, tilt was just created by something that was just random. It was just a crazy random news, and I just happened to be in the wrong time, in the wrong direction, which is a very irritating situation, especially when you're oh so close to an account. It would have been way easier had I just maybe started the account, and I kind of said, well, that was funny, but at least I wasn't close to passing, and then that happened. But unfortunately for me, I was in a situation where I was so close to passing, and then that happened. So that is what sent me on tilt. So I am in the penalty box. I'm still going to hang out, still going to just give my thoughts and stuff like that. But if you are, so that is my day right there. And I don't want to stare at that anymore, so I'm just going to get that. But yeah, no, it was a bad day. So somebody was like, Clay, you're the GOAT. I'm like, no, definitely today was not a GOAT day. But in real money, you just lost the one. Correct. So if that was you, Ross, all you would have lost is the 105. I have lost more than that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the power of Pam's plant, Ross, is that built-in risk control. So I am very grateful that all this occurred within the context of a prop firm, because if this was my own money, then minimum I'd be down $5,100 of my own money if I was doing. And again, if you're doing your own money in stocks or options or even forex, or even futures. That's why it's Pam's plan. It's not just Pam's. The argument is not just to trade futures with your own money, because these days could exist. And futures move quick. And if you go on tilt like I did, man, you can make a mess of it. And man, did I make a mess of it. But it's a lot better to know that I'm not actually, I didn't actually just lose $5,000. So, yes, that's exactly it. But in real money, you only lost 105. Exactly. Yep. Patient trader, Clay, in the past, I watched you trade in stocks. Whoops. Did you go on tilt like you did? I watched you trade. Did you go on tilt? I'm not sure like you did. But yeah, I've gone on tilt everything I've traded over my career. I wish I could say that I'm always the perfect trader and that I never go on tilt a little bit, that I never lose my mind. I'd like to say that it happens fewer and far between. But yeah, no, it still happens. Like I said, it takes quite a bit to put me on tilt, but this was one of those situations. So the last time I got on tilt was a couple weeks, but now this one didn't cost me, but it happened on the live stream. But so this is like what I'm like, what would take. So a couple weeks ago, I had all these internet problems, and this will make sense if you've been with me from the live stream. Had a bunch of internet problems, and then we got fiber in the neighborhood. So I was excited. The salesman came. Yes, definitely. This company we've been using is terrible. Let's get fiber. I've heard great things about fiber. And then I get fiber. The next day, like not even 24 hours of having fiber, the internet goes off in the middle of a live stream. So that in of itself is like, ugh. So this is another trend. It's just like life creating tilt. It's like, you got to be kidding me. What do I have to do to just get some decent internet? Like, what is going on? Fiber is supposed to be great, and it cuts off, and I'm already so I had to go reboot the modem. The live stream was down for 10, 15 minutes. And then when I get things back up, I notice I'm in a trade. And of course, the trade, because it went out before I canceled it, but I forgot I even had a trade out there. And I'm in this trade, and I'm down, and I'm like, whatever, I'm going to make this trade work. And right there, that was tilt. And now that one did work out, so that can be something that's not like every time you go on tilt, it doesn't really work out, but eventually it'll bite you. And today was one of those days it bit me. So it's just weird stuff like that. It sends me on tilt. And today, the thing that sent me on tilt was just being so close to passing and then a random news event spike. Poof. Now, it's much different if that somebody's going to make a speech or there's going to be an economic report at a single time. That's much different. That's not random. That's scheduled out. They're letting you know, hey, there may be some spikes in the market because this speech is going to happen or this report is going to be released. So those are not random news spikes. Those are news spikes, but they're not random because you know when they're going to be. This situation, though, was genuinely random. Just they dropped the headline, and that was it. So that's, it's... But point being, if you've been on tilt before, hey, welcome to the club. I would just encourage you to consider Pam's plant, because going on tilt is much, much, much less costly within the context of Pam's plant. So, yeah, my question to all of you, did anybody else get caught in that spike? Or were some of you long and you banked on that spike? How did anybody else here? Were you around? Were you in trades or whatever when that spike happened? I also got caught in a spike and went on tilt like you, but I had some dumb luck and got it back. And like you, I am in the penalty box trying to berate myself too much. I know. Yeah. Well, good on you for recognizing that. It's much harder, patient trader, to say that you were on tilt if you make money. Because it's easy for your mind to be like, oh yeah, that was all skill. Oh yeah, no, that was all good decision. Oh yeah, I was making rational decisions. It's easy. So good on you for making money, but still admitting to yourself that you're on tilt. That's a good sign of maturity. When I take a big loss, I shut down Thinkorswim or open Netflix until I stop beating myself. Yeah, but that's the thing, Ross. I think it sounds like from your asking, you would really, Pam's plant would be a great benefit to you. Sometimes it sucks being human. In trading, I wish I was a robot. The market during Trump tweets is it is. It's a new phase. Like Trump and his love of tweeting. There's just going to be more of a threat of those random spikes. Grant Peterson long. I made like 15K in passive 3. Good job, KZ. What's the play? Well, I don't know, Grant. What is? You tell me. What's the play, Grant? Right now, I'd be more bearish than bullish. That's for sure. There is a. I don't know. Do we get a bounce off that trend line? Okay, there we are at that trend line. Let's see if it bounces. I got catching sounds in that listening to news. I got catching sound. Yeah, I think you got some typos. I got cha-ching sounds and that can't. Oh, cha-ching. No, I don't know what you meant there, BK Dot. I think you had some typos. I lost $400, but still in pro account, heading to fill 2K buffer zone now. Good job, Rashawn. I'm glad you survived it. Grant Peterson. Are you day trading options or are those swing trades that you're doing with those options? Oh, I got cha-ching sounds in that candle. Well, I'm glad you're on on the right side because I was not. Off topic. Durbin. I don't know who that. I'm not sure who that is. There's a nice little bounce. Not the cleanest of bounces, but we'll see if it can last. I could see myself being interested in, buying. If it wants to come down here at the trend line, then you can have a pretty tight stop. Like I said, I'm in the penalty box currently. Penalty box for me. Again, if you are enjoying and if you're finding this helpful, we're going for 100 likes by the 2-hour mark. So we still got plenty of time. But in order for the party to continue beyond the 2-hour mark, I gauge that based on likes. So if you are enjoying and you'd like the party to continue and have not hit that like button, please do so. He is talking about Dick Durbin. Oh, yeah, okay. That is pretty off topic. All right. Is there a short here? I could see a short right around that area. I know I'm not new, but how do you trade? Micro, like can you show NQ, mini, and I'm not sure what you mean by that. How do you trade? Yeah, I don't. You select. You just. Yeah. Like you would type up here the NQ or the MNQ. And then you would, when you click buy, that's for the MNQ. Or if you click on the NQ, that would be for the NQ. I don't know if that's what you're asking. I'm not quite sure, but that's how you do it. So are you in a trade right now, BK Dot? Like, what's the plan here? What are you looking to do? Where is the last low for? I think you mean, or I would call low supports, not resistances. Man, I really want to trade, but the penalty box. Got to stay disciplined. I want to tell you all that because now you can all. I text a couple buddies. I was like, hey, I'm done. Hold me accountable. I don't want to be a liar. I told the private community, hey, I'm done. And I'm telling you, I'm in the penalty box. So now I have to hold myself accountable. Yeah, Maddie, I had one of those days too. It happens. It happens. Just got to keep on grinding. What's the ES at right now? Wow, ES and I mean, usually they're pretty similar, but they almost look like exact same. So is that a new support area right there? Interested about that level right there. Is that the new kind of, we'll call it 880? 880, is that going to be a potential flush area? I could see that potentially. If the price comes down here, breaks and goes, is that what's going to send it down? I don't know. Is this about to be a channel? No too steep of sellout for me. Plus, we're at yesterday's. Bitcoin was more profitable than gold. That's why one went up and one went down. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I am an investor of real estate and stocks. So I don't follow Bitcoin. I don't follow Bitcoin or crypto, or I don't have any precious metals or anything like that. I am in a phase of my personal financial journey where I want things that pay me. I want passive income. So Bitcoins, precious metals do not pay you. Again, I'm not saying that's not a valid. I understand that. Well, that's a way to preserve your wealth. Yeah, fine. Like I said, I have real estate that helps me with that. But that's why I like real estate, because it helps you preserve your wealth and it pays you. But yes, so that was just my long way of saying, yeah, I don't pay attention to Bitcoin or gold because I don't really care what those things are doing, because I'm just not in them. MNQ is micro. That's what the M stands for. My wife loves gold. Well, then get your wife some gold. So I mean that type of gold can pay you, because then your wife loves you even more. There you go. See, you're getting a return on. You're getting some passive income in the form of extra love from your wife. All right. I would not call anybody crazy. Again, I'm in the penalty box, but if you were to get short up around here, trying to anticipate a rejection back down, I would not call you crazy. Again, nothing is guaranteed to work. Yeah. Getting short anywhere here, and then you can just put your stop up here above the VWAP area. I could see that. Again, no guarantees. Nothing works all the time, but would I call you crazy for that thought process? I certainly would not. So do we get rejected? We're right at that 200 period moving average of pink line. The VWAP right there. Does it get rejected back down? Or is it going to just keep on grinding upwards? In real estate, your money works for you. That is correct. Oh, you dirty rat. Oh, see? That's a tilt trade right there. Yeah, that's if this thing comes down now, like, and I'm being brutally honest with myself, I'd be right back to tilt. Like if I had made the claim, all right, I have peace of mind, I'm good. Let's get back at it. And then had I gotten short where I said, yes, that spike up would have, or that little move up would have taken me out, because I mentioned my stop loss right above, that area there. So it would have come out, taken me out for a loss, and now it's come back down. So if this thing keeps on coming down, I'm telling you right now, I would have been right back on tilt. I don't like to say that, but if I'm being brutally honest with myself and diagnosing myself with true brutal honesty, that would not have been good. Because everything I've described already as how my day has been, and then this happens. Now, it hasn't happened yet, because if this thing does skyrocket back up, then okay, oh well, it was just a losing trade. I'd actually feel good about the stop loss. But if this thing now comes back down, oh boy. These are 2-minute candles. You can see that over here. But off screen, I'm looking at other time frames. Oh my. Is this thing going to actually do that? Yep. Oh, yeah, I'd be on tilt. Officially, I would be on tilt. Man. So in a weird sense, I'm glad I'm in the penalty box, because what a ridiculous. Oh, man. Like I said, the trade worked, kind of. I just had the stop loss in the wrong spot. I mean, it was totally logical. It just poked its head up a little bit and then decided to come back down. Yeah, I would be on tilt, totally. Well, yeah, no, exactly, Ross. My thesis was right. I just would have had too tight of a stop. All easy to say. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I would be on tilt. Because I'd be like, you got to be kidding me. You pop up, take me out, and then you roll back over. So if anybody took that trade and maybe you gave the stop loss a little bit more wiggle room, congrats to you. You weathered the storm, and now you're getting paid. So a big congrats, but as we just saw there, I would not have weathered that storm. Man. So, all right, I'm glad that I am in the penalty box, because that would have not have been pleasant. Looking for the ascending wedge to break. So did anybody else lose accounts today on the spikes, like this earlier action? Now, this movement here, no excuses. This big crazy movement, why do I say no excuses? That's at 10 o'clock. There was news that was told to come out at 10 o'clock. So this spike right here, there was nothing random about it. That's why you got to look at the economic calendar, because that one you would have known about. This right here, that was the random thing. It just happened. So this one, yeah, sorry, you were only a victim of your forgetfulness to look at the economic calendar. But this one right here, did this get anybody? Did anybody lose any accounts, or am I like the only person? Yeah, and where's your stop at, BK Dot? Huh? BK Dot says he's going to short the new low. Okay. Stop and what? No. Okay, so you're going to short this new low right here, BK Dot, at 850. Is that right? Correct. And PMI was at 945. So that was another event, not really a valid excuse, because there was news also at 945. Okay. So you're going to get short at 850. And then where are you putting your stop? So you get in, where's your stop at? BK Dot. That's my question. We got your entry point. Okay. This is what I was trying to tell. And you already know this, BK Dot. Like, none of this is impressive. You have to tell us your trade plan before everything happens. Because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, well, I got short here. And it says like, okay, well, that's cool. But like, it's way more impressive if you tell us everything before you get in. Not only your entry point, but where's your stop. Those two things for sure. Entry point and stop. But we are back to this line, and surprise, surprise, look right where it decided to bounce for the time being, right at that level there. But yeah, I'd be so furious So furious. Gotten in right about there. Would have been taken out. Yeah, right about there. So, and then, whew, man. I'm just saying, BK. Next one. How about to tell us where your entry point is before and where your stop loss at before the numbers reach there? Hello. Do you have any advice for a beginner? Why? What are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to invest or swing trade or day trade? Oh man, that line being stubborn. I'll be good at all I'm saying is just it would be nice to hear numbers before they happen. That's all I'm saying. So had this trade went your way in short. Okay, so here's the lesson. So I would have said I got in, let's just call it 40 right here. So right now 40. And then down to, and for example's sake, let's just say this was my profit target right here. And that area is at 1880. So I'm not a math genius, but from 940 down to 880, that is a difference of 60. So it has gone down 60, now even more, but we're just going to look at this. So 60, again, in the world of futures, things are measured in points. So that was points. So had I done just one contract of the NQ, because one contract and 1 point is worth $20. So 60 points, and then each one of those points equals 20. Okay? So here's if you're like, futures are so complicated. If you can follow the math so far, I'm telling you, you can trade futures because assuming you know how to read charts. So 1 point is $20. So I just said that this distance here was 60 points. So for every contract you owned, how much profit would have that been? Well, we just said that that distance was 60 points, and I just said that per contract, it's $20 per point. So 60 points times $20 per point, that would have been $1,200. And again, that's only on one contract. If you had 3 of those, or 4 of those, or 5 of those, you get the idea. But one contract, 60-point move, $1,200. So, okay, Ross, you already did the math. So right there, see? You understand futures. So there you go. That's what that would have been. And now it's going even more. So, wow. Talk about math. I can only imagine. What? And so this is the power of the penalty box, because some days, like this is how, disastrous days are formed. Think about that. If I'm honest, I would have been like, okay, because I'm feeling better now. It's good to talk about things, but I'm feeling better now. My mind is clear. This is a valid, logical trade plan. You all heard me say it. Okay, getting short right there. I could totally see that. Stop loss up above VWAP. And it came up here, and as much as in hindsight confirmation bias, I would want to have said, oh yeah, well, I would have had my stop right there, so I would have survived that. No, I wouldn't have. So that would have taken me out, and then I'd be looking at this from the short side. Oh, man, today has, crazy. It's now down. Yeah, see, Ross, do you see why I'm saying, I understand why you thought Tesla made a pretty big move, but in the world of in the world of futures and day trading, it's kind of like not that big of a move. And again, Ross, the amounts of money needed to capitalize on these moves, very, very minimal. You want to capitalize on these moves with Tesla, well, you're going to need, at least 100 shares. You're going to need at least $10,000, if not more. Who are you talking to, BK. You see how it flushes when it takes out that low. That's not haphazardly. Well, yeah, no kidding. When lows are broken, they tend to get quite a bit of movement because there tends to be stop losses there. Well, if anybody did take that, again, congratulations to you. You're if you're still in it, you're sitting pretty. I was on margin with 1,000 shares to make. Oh man, that is scary. Whew. Well, I'm glad it worked out for you, Ross. Glad it worked out for you. But it sounds like you are kind of realizing very quickly. Oh, well, this thing is interesting. You said nobody is searching for your stop loss, though. Yeah, correct. No, there's no algorithm out there searching for stop losses. Yeah, exactly. It's here not all the time. Like if you're telling me that some algorithm was like, all right, fellas, like you're telling me that a bunch of like market makers in their cubicles were like, all right, fellas, we're gonna push this thing down here and we're gonna get those stops. So let's start pushing. Like that's not how the market works. Like, do you know how much capital would need to be required to make that happen? That's what I mean by people aren't hunting stop losses. Does TPT have a penalty box or self-imposed? No, this is all self-imposed. I could totally go and reset those accounts. I could get more accounts right now and keep on trading, or I could hop over and start to trade these accounts. But I'm not. Yeah, these are pro accounts. These are ones that you need to value like gold. But yeah, I could totally get some more test accounts and just keep going. But yeah, I'd probably be on a third blown account after this because I who knows what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done, but it would. I could very realistically see myself being on another blown account. Hey, Clay, how'd the day go? Well, Frank, you showed up a little too late. I'm not talking about it anymore. Sorry. I can only talk about today only so many times. So you'll have to watch in the archive, Frank, because this will be, as soon as this ends, it puts in the archive, and you can watch it there. But I don't want to talk about it anymore, Frank. I don't want to talk about it. Wondering if there could potentially be a back test. Does this thing come up here and then come back down? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. How'd your Frank? No, if I remember right, Frank, didn't you make like 700? I'm trying to think what you posted in the chat room earlier. But if I remember right, you had a good day. I'll just say this, Frank. This the random news spike or the random news that came out that created this mayhem right here was not kind to me. Was not kind to me. 678.50 after fees, very good. Congratulations, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm almost now wondering, is this the best? Let's see. That's a pretty tight stop. I was gonna say, I could see, do you get short right there on a back test and a stop right above that high right there? I mean, you could do that. It would just be a lower probability trade in the sense of, the price could come up there and spike and hit you out. But if you're right, it would pay you very well because, relative to what was being risked. But I mean, you could also, widen that stop out up a little bit. But yeah, as of right now, yeah, we just continue. I mean, we're still up nicely on the day. Don't get me wrong, but from the highs, we have certainly pulled back quite a bit here. Do you get long down around this area? I don't know about that. Let me make an adjust. Yeah, I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll see if there's any sort that comes with it. All right, here is potentially a back test. Will we get a back test and go? Again, entry right around there. Stop loss, somewhere up around there. If anything, I'm just paper trading these to, since I'm in the penalty box today. Again, if you're enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. Had 150 likes yesterday. Yesterday's crowd was fantastic. But if you're enjoying, again, and if you want to help us drive this up to 100 likes so the party can continue beyond the 2-hour mark, make sure you hit that like button if you have not yet. All right, so there is essentially the entry point. There is the back test. Let's see. Oh. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know where you necessarily would put your stop. But if you put it right there, I think you'd still be in. But no, this one has back tested and keeps it. What a bounce. Very impressive bounce here. Did anybody play that? I mean, nice little. In hindsight, that's, oh man, you should have went long down there. But as of right now, quite the bounce. 5 minute is trying to reach up to that brown dotted line there, which is a pivot point. But yes, multiple time frame analysis. This makes a lot more sense now. Beautiful bounce right off of that pink line right there, which is the 200 period moving average. So good example of why multiple time frame analysis is a smart thing. I did lose track of the 5 minute and didn't even notice that the price was down there at the 200 period. So that makes way more sense on how this, or why this bounce is occurring essentially where it did. Again, kind of tricky because the price did at first break down below before recovering back up. But some people might have been like, all right, well, let's let it break, and then I'll buy if it wants to come back up. So on the way back up, getting up above the pink line, if they would have bought that, they're getting paid very nice. Would you think second short around 18,900? Yeah, I could see that. Could be breaking retest after hours yesterday. Could be selling. Could be breaking retest. Yeah, so it could be doing, up or down. I agree. Could be breaking the retest up. Yeah, I agreed. It could be breaking. It could be going up after hours yesterday. Could be selling off again. Yeah. So yeah, it could be going up here. It could be going down. Are you a lawyer, BK? I think BK is a lawyer in real life. That was quite the hedge way to not be wrong. Could be going up. Could be going down. I agree. I hope C joins us. C, are you here, by the way? Do you happen to be here? We need some trade plans. C is a millionaire trader that joined us yesterday. Called us all losers. And then when we asked for him to shed some wisdom on how we could make some money, as he claimed to make millions with a tight stop loss, he just wouldn't quite do it. So maybe C is here and he can shed some wisdom on us. Okay, if I was short, shorting this. Fine. BK, what is your entry point and where would your stop be? It's too open to say, well, I'd be shorting this. Okay, well, where would you be shorting it? Where would you have to admit your short is wrong, aka your stop loss? So give us those numbers, BK. You're saying I'd be shorting this. Okay, well, what would your entry point be and where would your stop loss be? Let's get some numbers in before they actually happen. Don't wait for it to come down here and be like, oh yeah, I would have been short right there. Well, how convenient. I would short at 880 and stop around 8750. That doesn't make any sense. If you're shorting and then your stop is below 18.7, yeah. No, you didn't give anything today. I'm defining a worthwhile alert or a worthwhile trade plan. It's like telling things before that happens. Not, I'm going to get short on the break. Yeah, we're on the break. Are you going to get short before it breaks, at the break, slightly below the break? How far down below the break are you going to get short? Where's your stop loss going to go? You don't define any of that stuff. Like, it's easy to say, I'm going to short the break. But there's so many, like, how? Need more details. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Stop loss above 9. Okay, so here we have Ross. He said he would get short at 1880, so he's short right there, and the stop is up above there. Okay. BK Dot, I don't pay attention to any of your alerts because you're an armchair hindsight quarterback trader. That's why I don't I don't pay attention to that stuff. to be honest with you, that's why I'm asking you. Hey, maybe I'd start to pay attention if you actually mapped out some stuff before it happened. But the armchair quarterback traders that hang out in live streams and call things out and tell us all where they did and where they were and where they got in before it actually happened. Like right now, I'm impressed. Good shot. Good job to Ross. He told us he was getting short up here. Told us where his stop is. So he'd still be in. Good job, Ross. Think it will drop to 750. Okay, so his target is 7. Wow, that's a big target. Okay, well, we'll see. If you adjust your stop, Ross, let us know. Let us know if you move your stop and where you moved it to. Joseph, for myself, short 883 to 850 stop. Yeah. All I'm saying is, and I'm not accusing anybody of lying about where they got in and stuff like that, but to be fair, this is the internet. This is just a live, this is just randomness. So it's much more impressive. An alert has much more credibility if things are at, okay, the prices are not here yet, but if they do get to this level, I'm getting short or I'm getting long. And then my stop loss is also going to be right here. And then I'm going to have a target area is here. If you map out those three things before the price ever, initiates any of those, then that's where it's like, okay, here we go. This person is mapping it all out right there. That's all I'm saying. Is I'm not necessarily saying anybody is lying. I'm just saying hopefully you can appreciate the fact that some people could wonder, okay, but if you just lay it out there before it all happens, then there we go. What is interesting is if this does come back down, is there a long, somewhere around the 200 period with just a stop down below the lows? So you have a pretty minimal risk box, but if you get the bounce back off there, so maybe that's a trade if it comes back down. That's based off of the 5-minute. But this thing is got to drop down some more. Is the ES still looking pretty similar? Yep, pretty similar. Is this the line right here? It might be of interest. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. At this point, I would be 40 points in profit. There you go. See, Ross, what are you doing? Stop trading stocks. Stop day trading stocks, I should say. Wasted time, wasted capital, inefficient use of your capital. Come on over, Ross. Pam's plant's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, brother. All right, I am seeing this as a pennant now, bear pennant. So there's the top part of the pattern. So let's just get this drawn out the old-fashioned way. So there is the support there across the top. And then right there is a downwards move. For you golfers, put the golfle up here, upside down pennant, therefore making it a bear pennant. So yeah, is that going to be something that potentially creates a breakdown? We'll see. It'd be nice in my little ideal world of rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and Sour Patch Kids, if this came up a little bit more and then broke like right here, because if it broke right here and then you put your stop right there, you have a much tighter risk profile. But right now, if you short right here on the breakdown, then your stop is way up there. That's a bit of a bigger risk profile. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense per se, but I'm just saying in my ideal world, if it could survive within the pattern a little bit more and then break down up around here, that's going to help with the risk profile. Mike, move your stop loss up as it goes in your favor, right? And that's the nice thing about take profit trade, or excuse me, about Tradovate is you could put in. Okay, there we go. I don't want to do anything. So, okay, you could do this, and then let's just pretend you're stopped. So as it goes in your direction, just move it up. Okay, it went in your direction some more, move up the stop. Went in your direction some more, move up the stop. Reading charts gets easier the more you watch them in hindsight. Yeah, hindsight always adds a nice little element to things. But yeah, I'm liking this. The only problem and my only worry is, are we looking at a false breakdown just because of, we got to remember on the 5 minute, we have that 200 period down there. So let's get that mapped out. 815. All right, 815 is that area. So this has served its purpose for now. Where's 815? So there we go. Okay, so even if it were to break down, you don't have to worry about the 200 period on the 5 minute until down here anyways. So that still gives you quite a bit of wiggle room to potentially pull out some profits. Hey, C is here. Take a short here. No. I want exact prices, C. What is the price level to get short, and where would you put the stop? Take a short here. He's doing what I just talked about. Making general comments. Take a short here. Where is here? We want numbers, see? Millionaire trader. But the millionaire trader is here. He's still not giving us anything defined. He's just making broad stroke comments. But even if he said take a short here, notice how he didn't say where he would also put a stop loss. Take a short here with your stop loss and then gives us a number. He won't do that either. Odd how he won't do that. Does not define here, and also just doesn't mention his stop loss, which he claimed he uses a tight stop loss, and that's how he's made millions. The clown fiesta continues with C. And now he's saying, well, we're late. No. You just said here. And you still haven't given us a stop of anything. See, I mean, it was fun yesterday, but you're probably going to get banned today. It was funny yesterday, but the mere fact that all you do is continue to armchair quarterback things and it won't define anything. Take a short here. And you won't even give us a stop loss. So that would be the reason why I ban you, is because you've been given plenty of opportunities. You've made claims that you're a millionaire trader and that we're all losers. Fine, fair enough. But then when asked for specific details, you just refuse to do it. It's always, well, I called it back then. Well, where were you at the moment to call it? You're never here at the moment. That's what I mean. Hindsight trading. So you can either give us a quality trade plan where you map out numbers before it gets there, or you're going to get banned. That's kind of where we're at right now with you. You've been given plenty of opportunities to back up your claims of being a millionaire trader that uses a tight stop. And then you won't even give us a stop. Even at that first comment, take a short here. You could have said take a short here with the stop loss and then given us an exact stop, but you didn't even do that. So there is the pennant breakdown as I had mapped out. Now remember, right here, this line is representing the 200 period on the 5 minute. So that is why right now we look over here, and this is the big question for the shorts. Are the shorts going to get a breakdown through that area right here? I can see longs being like, I'm buying here with a stop loss down below that area. But that is... So it can seem random, like, whoa, dude. Like, you just randomly kind of put that line there. It's like, no, it's not random, because the 5 minute, that is the, again, this is representing the 200 period moving average on the 5 minute. No, see, you're missing the point, see. So one final time I'm going to explain it to you. I know it sounds like you're from another country, so perhaps English is not your first language. So I want to be gracious towards that. What you should have said, C, was, think about it. Take a short here, and then you give us a 10-point range. How convenient. You should have said, take a short here, and let's just set that aside. You have not said anything about where the stop loss is at, C. You could have said, take a short here with the stop loss and then given us a location. But you don't do that. So you have one more opportunity to give us an entry point before it happens with a stop loss before it happens. That's what we want. If you're not going to do that, then you're banned. For anybody that's new, the background on C is he showed up yesterday, called us all losers, said he was a millionaire trader with a tight stop. And then, well, you keep asking, well, can you give us a trade plan before it happens? And he refuses to do it. He talks, everything is in hindsight. And even now, he told us to go short, but didn't even mention a stop loss when he's the one that claims to use tight stops. Now, we all know you're a troll, see, that's already been established. But I'm just trying, I'm giving you, have you ever heard the saying, you give somebody enough rope to hang themselves? That's what I'm doing. I'm just giving you more and more rope so that when I do ban you, everybody's like, okay, yeah, I get it. So I'm just giving you more and more rope to hang yourself, buddy. Clay, can you show how to add the VWAP to the chart? Yeah, up here, you want to click on indicators, and then you're going to want to click on the search thing, and then just run a so right there, then you're going to want to run a search for VWAP, and then you'll have to explore community indicators, but it's eventually going to be CE VWAP. Oh my goodness, look at the back test. Woo! For those of you longtime viewers, you know we're a big proponent of the back test and go. Broke, came up, back tested. Came back up again, back tested. Can you explain what a moving average means? It's just the average of the price over the past X amount of time. So right here, this purple line is the 50 period simple moving average. So that is the average price over the last 50 2-minute sessions. Right here, that pink line is a 200 period. So that is the average of the past 200 price locations every 2 minutes. Schrodinger's trader. Exactly. Both long and short, depending on what it did. Exactly. If someone give me signals, I will never complain. Okay. You are officially banned because you don't do it. See you later, C. We gave you a chance. I hate to kick out a millionaire trader, but we gave you plenty of rope, buddy. There we go. C is gone. Set your trade up for a controlled outcome by having a price point for your stop. Set it and forget it. Long means you want prices to go up. Short means you want prices to go down. So yeah, Luke, believe it or not, in trading, you can make money if prices go down. That is known as going short or shorting. Well, the longs still have a chance here. Because per that plan, the stop, you'd be down below the low of that candle right there. So longs have been filled. Longs that are choosing to scalp may have already taken some profits out. I don't know if they scalp, but the longs that are like, no, I don't want to scalp. I want more movement. They're still waiting to see if they get that movement back up. Luke, that's just the way the market works. I'm not going to go into it. With all due respect, Luke, we're not going to turn this into a one-on-one personal training coaching session. There's a lot of good sources out there. You're a brand new beginner. That's fantastic, Luke. Welcome to the markets. But this isn't really the place to turn into, like I said, a one-on-one coaching, give you the basics. If you do go to claytrader.com/blog, there's a lot of free stuff there. No, you're good. I just want to let you know, like, this isn't necessarily the time or place for things that basic. Come on, Ross. I think, why aren't you just doing it then? Let's go. What's holding you back? Come on, man. We're getting a little sketchy right now. We've got to get up to 100 likes, and we got about 30 minutes. And we have 25 likes in 30 minutes. So if you have not hit the like button, or we'll do this $20 in super chats total, or 100 likes. But for those of you that are not aware, I always stream for 2 hours. But if I go beyond 2 hours, I make that decision based on is there interest. And I gauge interest via 2 metrics, likes or super chats. So we need to, by the 2 hour mark, either need to be up to 100 likes. Well, technically 101 likes to factor in the JJ effect, or $20 in super chats. So just hit that like button if you have not yet. There we go, 20 away. We'll see what happens. Withholding my like because you banned C. Go ahead, you withhold that like. I'm assuming that's a joke, but BK Dot, I have a hard time figuring him out. So I'm not quite sure if that's a joke or if he's being dead serious. Right now, so it's, again, looking at the 2 minute, it could be like, well, this seems kind of so random. Why is the price all of a sudden getting hung up at that area? This is why multiple time frame analysis is important, because it is not random when you look at the 5 minute and you see that pink line, the well-known 200 period moving average, is right there. So I just threw that line on the 2 minute so we could still track the location right there. But by no means is that some sort of random area. It's close to midnight here. About to go to sleep. When I wake, it will be 8 p.m. Plenty of time to be ready for tomorrow. All right, Ross. Sounds good. I over-leveraged my pro account 2 days in and whiffed it. You can make fun of me. I won't. No. I'm not going to make fun of it. No way. Did you not hear about my day? Hey, no judgments for me. It happens. Trading's not easy. The mind is not easy. You know what you did wrong? It happens. Been there. But certainly not going to laugh at you. Are you, you got another test going right now, RM? Are you in the process of getting another pro account? Man, so think about it. There are 2 people in the world right now. Longs are just screaming at this line, hold, you can do it, give us that bounce. Shorts, at the exact same time, you scumbag, foul, let it go. You dirty, rotten scoundrel, let it go. The longs, you're my knight in shining armor. Hold, come on, you can do it, my friend. The shorts, you scumbag, filthy, dirty dog, let it go. I mean, that's what's happening right now. People are praising this line. People are cursing this line at the same time. It all depends. How are you playing it? I'm thinking about giving up. I got caught earlier and blew 3 linked accounts. Tired of forking over money and never making any. You got caught what? What time did you get caught? Because there are always exceptions to rules, but it may be an exception in this situation. I mean, you got me. Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly. Ross, you're a very quick learner. Oh, the shorts got their way. So again, longs didn't necessarily lose money. It depends on the strategy. Longs that were looking for a scalp, oh yeah, they had plenty of opportunity down here to get the scalp. There was one. You could have bought there for another scalp. But any sort of longs that were like, no, I'm not here to scalp. I want to see a bit of a bigger move. Yeah, unfortunately for them, I'm assuming that turned out to be a losing trade. So sometimes you'll look at a situation and say, wow, scalping, that was dumb. Other times you'll look at a situation like this and say, oh, wow, scalping, that was definitely the smart way to go about it. You got me. Why celebrate 20-cent moves when I could take 20-point moves? Exactly. For way less capital too, Ross. Yeah, I'm doing good. That new evaluation account, good. I really wanted to get that buffer over and got overexcited. Yep, yeah. You're learning. Is that low 18,780? That low right there was 18,795. When it just under the 200 heading up, I shorted. Oh, I wasn't sure. Like, right here, is this what got you? Is this when you blew up your accounts? Was this move right here? If so, hey, I'm part of that club. That was crazy. That was just the random news spike. Now, if you're talking about something else, then yeah, I guess that wouldn't necessarily pertain. But I was hoping to give you a little encouragement, like, hey, yeah, if you were in during that random news spike, hey, yeah, that's just, if anything, that's the argument. That's the power of prop firms, because at least that wasn't all your real money getting evaporated. Hey, Clay, let's say there's a 5-minute bearish. Dude, I don't know what those are, man. You're using, Andy, you're following too many other people's systems, man. I don't know, Andy, because I don't know what a FVG is. Like, you're too cool, man. You're too cool for me. You're using lingo. I have no idea what you're saying. I thought you were just doing the overnight range. Like, just keep doing that. Isn't that what you were doing? Why are you starting to do all this other stuff? If I remember you right, you're the one that was like, hey, Clay, ORB. Hey, Clay, no disrespect, but I just used the ORB and it worked fine. I mean, I just keep doing that would be my best advice to you. Bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. Why have I not taken any trades? Because I am in the penalty box. Why I'm in the penalty box? Well, it's a long story. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I already did. It's not been a good day. So I have banned myself. I'm in the penalty box. I am not allowed to trade for the rest of the day. In fact, again, just to update people, even after I kind of hindsight trying to be like, okay, I think I would have felt okay. I would have shorted right here. The problem is, being brutally honest with myself, I would have shorted, gotten stopped out, and then it would have made that move, which would have sent me on tilt again. So I'd be, for sure, you can never say for sure, but highly likely that I would have blown another account. So yes, it was a wise move to get in the penalty box. Kiss wins the race. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. So off this one trade, 130 points. Yeah. Now, is the market like this volatile every day where you're getting like 100-point moves? No, it's usually not this much. It can be smaller, but regardless, it's still adding up way quicker than what a Tesla ever would. Mod D. Enjoy your long losers. Clap for C. I don't know what that means. Sometimes people just underestimate the power of punctuation. Did that just revert on 18,750? Uh, 18,750 was right here. Yeah, pretty close. Booyah, right there. It went slight, like a point below it, but for intensive purposes, yeah, pretty much. Bounced right off it. All right, need 15 more likes, and we're at 100, and the party will continue. So if you have not yet hit that like, do that. We'll get this up over 100, and the party will go on beyond the 2-hour mark. So if you are enjoying, what company are we? We're not looking at a company. We're looking at the NQ, which is, it cares about what the NASDAQ market as a whole is doing. So the NQ is just talking about, or it's essentially that it's the NASDAQ. That's what it's caring about. So it's not a company. It is the NASDAQ index itself. So that's why these would be called index futures, because they're futures regarding an entire index. Exactly. So like the SPY. Yep. I do think this line here could have yeah. Let's keep that line out there. This line is just, that was more of a curiosity point. It's more of a just clutter at this point. So I'm going to keep an eye on that trend line right there. I suppose if you didn't want to use a trend line, you could just use that 21 EMA, which is that green line right there. They're not exactly, but you can see it's they're kind of mimicking one another to an extent. If there are any sort of bounces here. I mean, there's no way this actually goes back to the close, right? That's impossible today, right? Like this thing doesn't keep drifting down the entire day, does it? Like that doesn't actually happen, does it? Does it? I mean, So a little miniature bear pennant right there. Getting a little extended to the downside right now, so I don't think I would. Remember 2 days ago. What was 2 days ago? Oh yeah, JGS just go short. I don't know. Has it gone into a just go short type of day? Perhaps. Just go short if you want to make money. If you want to buy a Lambo, just go short. Are we at GJS territory? I don't know if I'm ready to say it yet. But man, this thing has sure just been drifting down ever since that very nice move in the upwards direction. It just don't care. It just keeps dropping. Man. Oh, I really want to short that, but that's the FOMO. That would be a rule break. I'm in the penalty box. It's 12:30. Has volume fallen off for long? No, volume never really falls off. I mean, volume definitely, things kind of slow down, but Ross, you'll be very, very pleased. You'll be like, oh wow, yeah, futures day trading is way better than stocks. I am, like I said, since I've started the live stream about 2.5 months ago, we have not had a single person that's day traded stocks or options and then come back and been like, I day traded futures and I like stocks and options better. Not a single person. In fact, today we had our newest person, Elusive Lens, was like, whoa, I used to day trade stocks. I used to day trade options. I tried day trading futures through the prop firm. Whoa, it's way better. I think he said he was absolutely sold. Dad says you can come out of timeout. Good try. You guys are savages, though. Austin in the chat room's like, no, man, just reset. We want to see some tilted trading on the live stream. Now Force Fed wants me to do tilted trading. Absolute savages. How is it better? Well, what do you trade, Crazy Heat? Are you a day trader of stock or options? Let's start there so I can try to, so I know how to dismantle your current strategy, assuming you're doing one of those. And not only is it better, it's way better. In fact, day trading stocks and options compared to Pam's plant is garbage. I know that upsets people, but I can back it up with math and facts. Okay, day trade stocks, mostly Tesla. So question number 1, do you have over $25,000 in your account? I'm assuming you do if you're day trading Tesla, but let's just start there just in case. Do you have more than $25,000? I know that's kind of a personal question, but it's relevant. All right, approaching that trend line. Yes, okay, well, first off, very good job. Congrats. You're doing very well in life. You have $25,000. Fantastic. So normally I ask that because people are like, no, I don't have $25,000. So right away, those people are stuck under the pattern day trading rule. Well, you can use a cash account. You're still stuck under settlement rules. So with the pattern day trading rule, you're not allowed to day trade as much as you want. And that's just anti, you can't be a day trader under the pattern day trading rule because by definition, they will not let you day trade as much as you want. Wow, what a move. What a move. So, okay, but that doesn't apply to Crazy Heat. So Crazy Heat, sorry, just watching this move. So my next question to you, Crazy Heat, do you ever have bad days where you go on tilt, you lose your mind, you revenge trade, you force trade, you break rules, or even if you're behaving fine, have you ever been caught in a crazy move where like, whoa, where did that come from? And it's just a crazy move, a spike. Do either of those apply to you? Would you say, yeah, I'm not I break rules. I've gone on tilt. I've kind of had those days where I'm like, wow, I made a mess of that. Curls, I already answered that. So you'll just have, and I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm in the penalty box. So Curls, you'll just have to go back and watch it in the archive. Yes, sometimes. Okay. So when you have those days, you make a pretty big mess for yourself, right? We've all been there. Like you're looking at like, wow, that was a lot of money, or wow, that was really messed up. Have you had those days? Have you had those days? Yeah, the days you keep buying or selling at dollar cost average yourself to profits. Been there, done that, yeah. And then it doesn't work out. Uh-huh. Wow. What time did all this happen? No? I was going to say, was this some sort of, did somebody, but just a big old turnaround. Okay, crazy. He may have left the building. I don't know. Is this a short? Is this a short? I could see. Actually, this is what I would do. I would short if it came down to here, and then my stop would be right over there. All right, so I'd be long. I'd be long. We'll use this. I'll just use this to map out where my stop would be. Be right about there. So very basic premise. This is a dead cat and it wants to come back down. If it's not a dead cat and this thing's going to keep rocking and rolling, well, it'd be a small little tight risk profile trade. So nothing fancy here. Very basic premise. Is this a dead cat bounce or does this move actually have some more genuine power behind it? Oh, crazy heat. I think he's gone. All right. Well. But yeah, day trading Tesla. I was going to ask him, well, how many shares do you normally buy? Or how many shares do you normally trade with? I mean, at 100 shares Tesla, that's over what, like $20,000? $20,000, you know, that's not, I would argue, not a very efficient use of capital, especially when all that capital is at risk itself. I want to say, oh yeah, that would have been a green trade because I would have scalped, but I think I'm lying to myself. I don't know. I don't think I would have scalped that out. But let's see if it does want to come back down. Again. Now, if you're saying, Clay, I think you're crazy. I'm long right here. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't call you crazy. One of us will be right. One of us will be wrong. But as long as we're both managing risk, that's the key thing. Because there are no guarantees. But that is a little worrisome to see it come down and then to see it fight all the way back up right there. That has me worried now. If you're long, though, you're like, here we go. Here we go, brother. We're making a move up, brother. Yes, I would not be feeling too good. Not encouraging when you see those lower shadows show up. Where you're feeling great for 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, just like that, it turns around on you. But it's still be below the stop. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, Ross. Yeah, there's well, like I said, I don't you already recognize it. You see the power of Pam's plant. So I think you're convinced. And I'm looking forward to you getting hopefully you used my link, my code, so my kids can eat. But if not, support whatever channel you want to support. But if you want to support this one, code Clay, we'll make it happen. But do whatever you want to do. All right, now I am feeling a little bit better now, but it's still down in that area where I could see it snap back up here. I did already signed up. Oh, signed up with Take Profit Trader? Does this thing want... Oh, see, now, once again, there are some buyers hanging out here for sure. Goodness. They don't want to roll over. Richard, $50 away from $1,500 profit. Can't trade anymore. $700 away from being funded. Nice, Richard. Good job. Good job. And I would still be in. That line does represent my stop. What purchasing power account did you go with, Ross? In 840. Stop loss 740. All right, cool. I like that. Giving us an entry point and also a stop loss. Something that C friend could not do. So you said your stop loss is at 740? Wow, that's a huge stop loss. All right, so you must be, so where's your target at? No, what size? What size? So when you went to the link here, I'm asking you which one of these did you choose? That's what I'm asking. Oh, bummer. Man, yeah. Again, more proof that I'm glad I'm in the penalty box today. 19. Okay. So his his entry point is basically right here. Stop is down here, and he's going for his target up here. Roger that. The 25. Okay, nice. So the test for you, you can take as long as you want on the test. I would encourage you get it done within a month so that you do not have to pay this fee again. But the test for you, well, the prop target is you got to make $1,500. You're not allowed to lose $1,500 though. And you can get up to 3 of the very volatile contracts or 30 of the less volatile. There's a couple other small little rules that they'll email and tell you about, but yeah, very straightforward. Very straightforward, and congrats. Welcome to Pam's plant. You should. I don't know how long ago you did it, but you should be able to do it if you want. If you didn't get an email, you might want to check your spam folder. Oh, this is spicy. This is spicy. Look at that. A double whammy. You have the 21 EMA, that green line, and you have the pivot point right there. Going to be a key battleground right at that level. In fact, let's move it right up to here so we can watch that area on the 2-minute. But this line here, oh, look at that. And look at the alignment. And then it aligns very nicely with the 50 period on the 2-minute. So we have multiple time frames with this general area here potentially acting as resistance. So if you're, say, Clay, I'm thinking short. Again, no guarantees. Manage that risk. But would I call you crazy? Absolutely not. I see the logic. Why NQ and not ES? Because NQ, in my opinion, moves way better than the ES. But I don't have, I mean, if you're to tell me you trade the ES, I'd say, okay, cool. I like the way the NQ moves. And at this point, I'm just used to it. Hey, we need 13 more likes here. We have gone on a drought. Are we going to be able to hit 100? We started off so strong. We got to get up to 100 likes in the next 7 minutes. If you want the party to continue, got to make sure that there's interest. The way that I'm gauging interest is with likes. So if you are enjoying, so you didn't use code Clay, Ross? Oh man, that's brutal. There we go. 6 more likes. Actually, still 6 more likes. We need to get 101 for the JJ effect. How many confluences do you usually wait before taking an entry? Depends on the strategy. Some strategies require more than others. Oh, you did. All right. You used code Clay, Ross? Because what you just copy and pasted was the other code, which would have broken my heart. Again, we are right at that key battleground. That green line represents the key level from the 5-minute, but we also have the purple line right there. And then at the checkout, you use code Clay, Ross. Look at that 50 period. Just pushing it down right now. Who was earlier? Somebody had. Have you moved your stop up at all yet? I don't remember the name. I don't even know how to pronounce. I don't even think that is a name. Euphoric, or Rick? Euphoric? I think that's it. Euphoric. Hey, I think I read your name. Euphoric. Did you move your stop at all, or are you still where you're at? Your stop's still in the same spot? Gotcha. Oh, I'm so confused. I thought you said you bought an account, Ross. I'm so confused. Okay, well, when you check out, make sure at the checkout, code Clay if you want to support the channel. Do you know how to keep up a partial order take profit? No, I'm not quite sure. Do you know how to set up a partial order take profit? We need 2 more likes. So we have about 4 minutes to get 2 more likes, and then the party is going to continue. So if you are enjoying, let's get this up over 100 likes. 2 more. 2 more. There is 1 more. And the party shall continue. I know we're at 100, but there's always a JJ out there. So we've got to factor in the JJ effect. Thank you, Southern Grown Organics. There, 103. There we go. We're booming now. The party will continue. Let's go. Right now, shorts have got to be feeling pretty good here. That 50 period stepped up in a big way. Couldn't even get up to that key area on the 5 minute. So this is, again, why multiple time frame analysis works. People on the 5 minute could be like, oh man, it was so close to getting up to that key area, but it just randomly stopped. Oh man, it just randomly stopped. Well, no, it didn't randomly stop, because on the 2 minute, you can see exactly why it stopped where it stopped. You had a very strong downsloping 50 period moving average. So that's why it stopped. It didn't randomly stop on the 5 minute. It stopped because on the 2 minute there, you had that area. So that is why multiple time frame analysis, certainly a very, very important thing to have within your trading. Yes, you can set up trailing stops with this platform here. Yep, you can do all that good stuff. Now, what we do have for the longs to consider is this. If we just use that 50 period as a trend line itself, so we have a trend line right here, and we just use the 21 EMA as a trend line, we have that trend line itself, and then we have this big move up here, and then let's make it for you golfers. So we have a bull pennant. So some people are maybe saying, well, I see a bull pennant here. Now, the tricky thing here is a bull pennant is occurring in an overall downtrend. Now, that doesn't mean the bull pennant will fail, but it's just something that would need to be weighed into your decision-making process. But right now, to be fair, we do have a bull pennant. It just happens to be a bull pennant in an overall downtrend, which can sometimes cause things to be shaky. Again, does not mean that it's for sure going to be guaranteed to fail, but if this were to break to the downside and continue down, I don't think anybody would be like, wow, I can't believe that bull pennant failed. I think people will be like, oh, no, that makes sense. It was occurring in a downtrend. You've never traded a 2 minute chart, only 1 in 5. Yeah, I'm not saying that the 2 minute has to be any, you need to use it. Got to do what works for you. And yeah, I know a lot of people, and I've used the 1 minute and 5 minute. I've just come to like on futures, the 2 minute and 5 minute. But at the end of the day, you got to do what works for you. And if you find that the 1 minute and 5 minute works best, then go with that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and delete the pattern out, because doing battle with, again, if we remember, this is technically the top part of the bull pennant. Now, just because you get a break, you're not out of the woods yet, because the price would then still have to break through that area, which we now know is a very significant level on the 5 minute. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that. But if the price can break up through here, again, no guarantees, but I can see it very realistically taking a journey up to at least do battle with these levels right here, which would be Euphoric's price target. So Euphoric and his price target is still in the game. But we got to see. One step at a time, one hurdle at a time. So it's trying to push up through the 50 period. It's definitely struggling, though. And even on the 5 minute, breaking up through that line right there. Again, there's no guarantees, but the chart does definitely open up. Not really any other significant resistance levels. So high volume break here makes it well within the reason that the price at least goes up and tests the VWAP. Doesn't mean it'll stop there, but I could see it, realistically getting up and testing that area. So that's the 5 minute on things. But now I just kind of got to see if it does want to get some separate. It's struggling, though. It's struggling at this area. Not a shock, though, given the context of things. Is yellow VWAP? Yeah, the dotted yellow is the VWAP. Pink line is the 200 period moving average. Green line is the 21 EM moving average. And purple, okay, yeah, purple is the 50 period simple moving average. But we're trying to see, can it push? Can it push? It's trying to give it a go. All right, all right. I would say it's officially pretty much broken that 50 period. So like I said, the pattern that we had drawn was that bull pennant right there. So the price has now peeked its head out of the bull pennant. It's just really a question of, is this breakout going to get more continuation? So step one is always an important step. Can it break? It has broken. Step two, can this break get more continuation? Right now, it's looking like it might be dropping back inside of the pattern. But yeah, it's definitely dropping down more. Now, it's still technically above that level right there. So from a longs point of view, I don't know if there's anything necessarily to panic about per se. I can see people getting irritated and all that. But you know, I don't know if it's necessarily done anything wrong in the sense of blasting down through that area. But yeah, definitely a key battleground right here, basically at 887. Definitely has stepped up as a stubborn, annoying little area there. So we're going to have to see if the price can push up through that. When trading this, do you keep an eye on the heat map to get an idea of what the overall market is? No, I don't. I like to keep an eye on the ES, which is the futures of the S&P 500. But no, I don't use heat maps or anything like that. Again, I'm not saying that's wrong. Or I'm not saying that it's not worthwhile. But yeah, I don't watch any heat maps or anything like that. I'm here for the tilt trades. Did you get above buffer anymore, Austin? Did you post it? Maybe I should look in the chat room real quick. You're at 6K? Good job. Are you done? Are you done? You're just going to take the payment? Get that monkey off your back? Or are you going to just keep building that buffer? Yep. Get some. Okay, good. Yeah, don't touch it anymore. Good job. Congrats. Austin is in payout land. Very good job, Austin. Very, very solid accomplishment. Yes, Nathan, if you'd like to support the channel, thank you for the reminder, by the way. Yeah, for you advanced prop firm traders, Apex, this says 80% right now, but it's actually, they're having a flash sale, and this is at 90%. So this is actually 90% right now. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, use code Clay. But I want to really reiterate this. I have nothing against Apex, but Apex is definitely more advanced. They definitely have more rules. Their payment process is not nearly as good as Take Profit Trader. Doesn't mean they're bad, but if you are a beginner to Pam's plan, if you are just getting started with futures trading, start with Take Profit Trader. Their rule set, it's just way cleaner. You're not going to feel overwhelmed. But if you are already like, no, Clay, I've been trading props for a long time now. I get it. I understand rules. I know how to navigate many rules. Then yeah, Apex is doing a flash sale. I realize this says 80%, but it's actually 90% right now. So if you're one of those people and you do want to support the channel, then yeah, code Clay at Apex will give you that 90% off. But please, again, only if you're a battle-hardened prop firm trader. If you are a beginner or relatively new, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be very overwhelmed, and it's going to feel like a scam. They're not a scam, but it's going to feel that way because, again, they are not, I would argue, designed for beginner prop firm traders, okay? But yes, Nathan, thank you for asking and thank you for the reminder. And yeah, thank you in advance if you choose to use code Clay so my kids can eat. Got to recoup that $5 million. Oh, no. Well, yeah. Hopefully not totally shocking. Like I said earlier, it was a bull pennant occurring in an overall downtrend. Now with the break to the downside. Well, wouldn't you know it, look right where it happened to stop on the 5-minute. Right back at that 200 period moving average. The power of charts. Look at that. Right off of that pink line. Are charts perfect? No. I'm not saying charts are perfect. That's not my claim. Are charts a worthwhile tool? They are. Man, I said something that irritated some people. How did that go? We went from 104 likes, now we're down at 100 likes. Man, maybe, I don't know, did talking about Apex irritate people? That is wild. We just lost like 4 likes. 99. Now I think people are just doing it just to do it. That was weird. Can you cash out the 2K buffer? You can, but there's a pretty big hefty fee behind that. You can, yes. If you're willing to pay. I don't remember what the fee is, but there's a pretty big chunk that they take as their commission if you choose to do that. All right. Hey, look at Ross. Thank you, Ross. Buy the kids a pizza. I will. I'll say, hey, this pizza's on Ross from Thailand. That is very kind of you. Very kind of you. Yeah, and also Ross, you know what you're doing, and you would fit in great. So now everybody is invited, but I do use this live stream to also recruit people. If I know it, I'm like, okay, yeah. I liked it. I think they would fit in well. That would be you, Ross. So this is the private community. Please consider joining. You would fit in really good. So please consider joining that. Again, it's open to everybody, but I like to keep my eye out for people that I'm like, I like that. So it's not like that you have to be a great trader. I'm just looking for people that I think, okay, based on how they're conducting themselves and all that, you know, I'll use this as a recruiting tool. So Ross, please highly consider joining the private community. You would fit in fantastically well. Especially now that you're moving into futures. We have a ton of futures traders in there that are trading the prop firms. So I think it would jive very nicely with you, especially when it's not insanely priced or anything like that. So please, please, please highly consider. Well, once again, the 200 period moving average, look at that. Right off of that level. And I realize this means a little bit more to those that have watched or have been watching for a while, but if you have, you know we've been talking about that level, and it's once again shown up as a key area. So to reiterate, is my claim charts technical analysis is the perfect tool? There are no such thing as a perfect tool. Is it a tool that I would argue is very valuable and worth using and learning? Yes, that is my argument. Certainly worth learning and using. How much time did that buy? I don't know, Bruce. How much time do you think it should buy? Are you stock gambit, by the way, Bruce? When I say stock gambit, does that mean anything to you, Bruce? Or am I just confusing you and thinking you're somebody else? But stock gambit, does that mean anything to you? Then you are somebody else, so I apologize, sir. We have somebody that's part of the private community whose name is Bruce, and their alias is Stock Gambit, so I wasn't sure if that was you or not, but it's not. Okay. I have to get to sleep. We'll be at the 24th. All right, sounds good, Ross. Actually, yeah, I don't know if you really need to be at that event, Ross. Honestly, you seem to really know what you're doing. So, you're more than welcome to attend. You may be a little bit more advanced from it, but still, you're more than welcome to attend. Wow, what a bounce. But once again, right back up into this very congested area from a resistance standpoint. So you go back here and, basically right here, resistance, right there, resistance, and then a bunch of times there's resistance right here. So this general area, pretty heavy in the resistance department. Does not mean the bulls cannot push through it. I'm just saying that the chart is suggesting to us that if the bulls are going to push through it, the buyers really better bring their A game, because this is certainly a congested area. So that's kind of where the question is. Can the bulls have enough A game? Can the bulls bring their A game to not only get to this area, but then push through it? That is the question. But yeah, this is better than any movie, right? Come on. Any movie you can watch, this is better than this. This is some good stuff right here. Hi, Clay. It's, I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that name, from Algeria. Nice to meet you here again. Well, thank you. It's nice to meet you. Cool to talk to somebody from Nigeria, not Not Nigeria, Algeria. All right, Ross, yeah, can only learn something new. Then, yeah, you are by all means invited. Need to wait for a trend. This is chop. Well, kind of. Some would argue, what are you talking about? This is in an overall downtrend. That's what some would argue, but I do also see your point of view. How you would look at this and say, no, right now, Clay, this is just totally chop. I can see that too. All right, here we go. I would call nobody crazy if they're thinking they want to get short up around this area. The track record has been right now to roll back over, not guaranteed to continue to happen. That's why you got to be using stop loss and all that sort of stuff. But like I said, if somebody told me they were going short here, I would not call them crazy. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I see it. I see what you're getting at. But this was certainly a strong move up. We'll see what it wants to do. Euphoric, he's still in. He's still waiting for his price target. Euphoric, nothing but respect. He mapped out his trade plan, everything beforehand. So there is zero hindsight trading on Euphoric's part. He is waiting for basically the pink line, a little bit above the pink line, because he is at 950. And we got the break. He may be good. As I said earlier, if we can break through this area, no guarantees, but I don't see why this price doesn't have a very good chance of at least hitting VWAP. Your scalping method of trading is best for day trading. Yeah, well, yeah, kind of by definition, if you're a scalper, you're going to be a day trader. Hey, Clay, what's the play? Well, right now, we're just kind of seeing if the play of buying that breakout gets people up to that first area that I said I thought it had a high chance of getting to, which is that yellow line, which is close, not quite there. But like I mentioned, I'm not quite sure why it couldn't at least get up there. Now, once it gets to the yellow line, does it break? I don't know. But it finally cleared out of all that congestion, and now it's picking up some momentum. So if anybody did play that break, congratulations. If you were short, like I said, I see what you're doing. Hopefully there's the price target hit. If it can push up through VWAP, I don't see why it doesn't go up and hit that pink line, 200 period. And then Euphoric is basically going to have his profit target hit. Again, a profit target that he had set a long time ago. So unlike our millionaire trader friend who called us all losers and has since been banned. All right, he took one off at VWAP. How many do you have? How many? Yeah, I guess you never told us how many contracts did you go with. But either way, he has taken one off at VWAP, which makes sense because that is a potential resistance level. So I'd say that was pretty smart on his part too. And then his other one is now at break even. So Euphoric is living the life. He has already locked in some gains. His stop loss is now at break even. So he is making money no matter what. And what I love about it is this was all called ahead of time. Euphoric, check out the link that I gave to Ross. I'm recruiting you. Let's go. Get into the community. Come on. Let's go, Ross. Or excuse me, Euphoric. Living the train. Oh, you're already a member? Are you a student? Loving the training. Are you already a student of the program and I just didn't even realize it? If so, I sort of apologize. Oh, okay. Bummer. That would have been awesome. Good job taking some off at that yellow line, because that yellow line is now acting as resistance, but just for now. Really just a question of does this want to pull back a little bit more, which would not be. So if it pulls back, then all that really would be giving is, okay, yeah, there's a pullback. But then you say, well, yeah, before the pullback, though, there was this nice move right there, which would give you a nice bull flag pattern. So, yeah, pullbacks are nothing to be fearful of. Whoa, that's not a pullback, though. What happened? Okay, is there news? There must be news. What happened at 1 o'clock? Let me check out the econ calendar here, folks. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. What was that? 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Oh, yeah, that would matter. The market does right now care about the bond market. And at 1 o'clock, they just had a 5-year bond auction. Usually the market's like, yeah, we don't care about bond auctions. But with as crazy as things have been, people currently do care about the bond market. So that is why 1 o'clock, there was a 5-year note auction. And that's why you do have to keep you got to keep your head in the headlines a little bit, because sometimes, like I said, people do care about certain things. Like when oil is getting really, really crazy, I remember when like those oil inventory reports, or like the reports of how many rigs there are, like there's a time in the market where I remember like the market really cared, and those events would cause spikes in like just the general markets. Right now, yeah, nobody cares about rig accounts. Just like normally nobody cares about the auction or the bond auctions. But today, and in this current environment, people definitely do care about bond auctions. So, and that is exactly what happened here at 1 o'clock. Because yeah, right now with all the drama going on, the bond market is getting a little squirrely. Lamar, I got a question about futures. I buy a contract, but how do I sell it? I used Robinhood. Oh my goodness. You are playing with fire. Press the sell button. Sell. Market sell. What are you doing? Buying futures with your own money and not knowing how to sell. What are you doing? Holy smokes. We call that not playing with fire. You're playing with a blowtorch as you stand in a puddle of gasoline. But you said I buy a contract, but how do I sell? Yeah, just press the sell button. Find the sell button, market sell, and just sell. Get out. And then come back here, and I'm going to tell you how to not play in a puddle of gasoline with a blowtorch. You are just looking to roast yourself. Yes, find the sell market button and just sell. So that's one of those that's hard, because was it a random news event? Not really, but it is kind of hard in the sense of, yeah, but does the market actually care about bonds? Well, I mean, you should know that if you're following the headlines, but at the same time, that's where I can have a little compassion. Like, well, I don't really understand bonds. I didn't know that I was supposed to be all of a sudden that the market cares about the bond auction. Yeah, like I said, that's a little bit of a gray area. Yeah, Nathan. Holy, craziest comment I've seen in a while. Yeah, that's yeah, how is the bond market doing right now actually? Where's it? Actually, I'll just do this. Where is the again, in my opinion, from an economic standpoint, this is the most important indicator to be watching. Our bonds. All right, that's good. But good to see bonds down on the day. The higher this number goes, represents the world losing more and more trust in the United States. That's essentially what that represents. The higher that percentage goes, represents the higher and higher amount that the world is losing within the United States. Because you remember, the United States is supposed to be a safe haven. When things get crazy, hey, park your money in U.S. treasuries and bonds, because that's like guaranteed. But if this goes up more, that means people are selling those bonds. That means people are doing the opposite of what historically they have done. Usually when things get crazy and dramatic, bonds, this percentage drops like a rock, because the more bonds that are bought, it drives down this percentage. But if bonds are being sold, it drives up this percentage. And why would people be selling bonds? Well, because they're not looking at them as a total safe haven. So that's why that is what's cut through all the headlines. How do people actually feel about the United States? Are people thinking the United States are going crazy? Do people think the United States is kind of losing touch with reality? Do people think that the United States is actually no longer a safe haven? Watch what they do with their money. And you can watch what they do with their money via that right there. So if that keeps on creeping up, that means people are dumping U.S. treasuries. People are selling bonds during dramatic times. So that is why I argue that is by far the most important economic indicator to keep an eye on. Oreva Amada. You have a very cool name, so that's why I asked what country are you in? And then I need to know that because I don't want to waste your time by telling you something that may not pertain to you. So what country are you in? In the aspect of yields, wouldn't it become... In an aspect of yields are higher, wouldn't it become more attractive? Yes, yeah. Higher yields become more attractive because they're trying to draw people in to buy them. But the reason why they're getting higher is because people are selling. So yes, that's the whole point. Yields go up to try to make them more attractive, to try to get people to buy. But the thing is, when those bond yields go up, that means debt becomes more expensive because like 30-year mortgages are based off of that, off of that bond. But yes, that is why they go up. They are trying... Okay, you're in the U.S. Okay, so if it were me, I talk about Pam's Plant. So Pam's Plant, very, very quickly, to just show you real quick, is an argument. If I could find it. Oh, okay, sorry. So right here, Pam's Plant is an argument to use to day trade futures, but day trade futures through a prop firm. Because prop firms are going to give you a whole bunch of benefits, which you can see right there, including, lower risk and a bunch of stuff. Fantastic. Futures are great because unless you have $25,000, you'll fall under the pattern day trading rule, and you don't want that. So what I would recommend is, like I said, day trading futures through a prop firm. And if you use the link that's you see on the screen or that's pinned in the top section, this would be a prop firm. So go select the purchasing power that you want. And then during that, if you want to use the platform that you see here, select Tradeovate, and then you will be good to go. So that's what I would recommend as somebody that wants to be a day trader and as a beginner. Day trade futures through a prop firm. Do not day trade futures with your own money because futures can move and they can move very quickly. And as a beginner with your own money, that could be a very disastrous situation. Whoops. So that's what I would recommend in a nutshell to somebody that is new. Those spikes are the reason you need hard stops. That is true, but sometimes hard stops will not save you because of slippage. Relax, Aradu. What's up, Clay? Things are going all right. Terrible day. I'm in the penalty box, but besides that, it could be a lot worse. But thankfully, because I was in the world of prop firms, it was not nearly as bad as what it could have been. So right there, just the nasty spike down, then pretty much back up to right where it was. So Oreva, if I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, that's what I would recommend. How do I get started? Like that. You want to get started with a prop firm so that you can day trade futures. Again, for most beginners, they don't have $25,000, and if you don't have $25,000, then there's something called the pattern day trading rule, which for just to oversimplify, you're not allowed to day trade as much as you want, which doesn't make any, but I want to be a day trader. Yeah, we know you do, but because you don't have $25,000, you may not day trade as much as you want. What's the penalty box? Me not being allowed, I'm not allowing myself to trade anymore. A self-imposed penalty box. Lost like 500 to 600 is slippage. My stop. Yeah, exactly, Nasir. So that's what I mean, Frank. Read Nasir's message. Yeah, hard stops have a time and place, but with crazy spikes, no matter what you're trading, could be a stock, future, just crazy spikes, slippage is still going to show up. No, they shouldn't give anything back to you. That's just the nature of the market. You got caught in a spike. That's just how it goes. You're not owed anything. What is the code? I think, can somebody correct me wrong? Because sometimes the banner's not at the top. I think at the top, does it still say code Clay up there? Could I get some feedback on that? Again, sometimes I think things are appearing a certain way, but they're not. So right now, I think at the top of the screen, you should see something that says, get 50K buying for only 119, claytrader.com/take profit, code Clay. Do you guys see that or no? And I'm not sure, sometimes, like I said, on my end, I'm thinking that I'm showing certain things, but I'm actually not. But is that up there? But the code is Clay. Code Clay. Is day trading skill or luck? It is skill. So Z, for example, you've heard of professional poker players, right? Therefore, I would argue poker is not gambling. Poker is not luck. There is a skill if you can become a professional. There's such thing as professional traders, which would suggest that, there is some skill involved. One thing that you've never heard of, though, Z, is a professional slot machine player. Or at least all I've heard of is, for me, I've never heard of a professional slot machine player. And the reason why that is the case is because slot machines are genuine luck. Like there's no skill. You can't find edges. You can't do anything about it. It is what it is. But the mere fact that there is such a thing as professional poker players suggests that it's not just luck. There's a skill. There's things you can do to give edges. There's things you can do to increase probabilities, play probabilities. Same is true for trading. But professional slot machine player, I've never heard of one of those. Now, if you've heard of one of those, by all means, please email me a link. I would love to read about this professional slot machine player. But as far as I'm aware, they don't exist. Professional, I don't even know. What are all the casino games? What's the thing that you spin the wheel? What is that? What's the thing that spins the wheel? What is that? Roulette. I'm not aware of any professional roulette players. You should remove whatever design you have behind your code. Too layered, especially on the one thing you want your... Really? Is code clay? Is that hard to see? Is it hard to read that it's code clay? Or do I got too much going on from a design thing up there? Roulette has a ton of strategy. So Richard, there is a such thing as professional roulette players. I'm not doubting you. I didn't think there was such a thing, but I don't know a whole lot about those games. So there are professional roulette players, is what you're saying. Okay, Force Fed sees it fine. Again, same question. Does code clay up there? Is that hard to see? Do I have too much going on with the graphics? Or can we be like, no, I know that says code clay. Really? I did not realize that there was professional roulette players. I did not. Well, I guess that's what I learned today. I can see how some would find it distracting, though. All right, maybe I'll change it up then. Appreciate the feedback. Always helpful. It's pretty clear. All right, well, I'd prefer not to be pretty clear. I'd prefer for it to be clear. So yeah, thank you for the feedback. I'll work on the graphic and we'll have a new one tomorrow. Thank you. Trapped below the 200 period moving average right now. There are also professional pickleball players, which would suggest that pickleball is not luck but has skill. That's what my logic would deduce from that. How do I haven't asked. Hey, if you're enjoying, hit that like button. I'd like to get up to at least 125 likes. So if we could get up to 125, that would be fantastic. So if you are enjoying and have not yet hit that like button, please do so. Helps out. So we're just hanging out. I guess I can get rid of that treadline haunt, serve its purpose. I don't know. I don't know if I'm fitting a square peg through a round hole or not by putting that line in there. I don't think so. Just the two most recent highs. Both there and there. I think a lot of people have drawn that. So kind of got a little bit of a double whammy of resistance. You have the 200 period, which is already clearly putting up quite the battle. But if the price can then push up through that yellow line. Again, no guarantees, but a good volume, high volume break of that level right there Again, I'm not saying it's for sure happening, but I don't see why it couldn't at least get up there and revisit the overnight high again. But one hurdle at a time. First, got to get a break up through not only the pink line, but also that trend line right there. And let's keep our eye on volume 2. We're looking for a higher volume break. And we'll see if it can make a push. But yeah, that 200 pair, that pink line, it's being stubborn. Well, we'll keep a close eye on it. That is, I personally would be nervous to short right here. I mean, I can see why people might be thinking about it. You're at a congestion point. You have a very, very tight stop, which is why I wouldn't call you crazy, because you have a very small risk profile. Low probability trade, but if it does happen to come down, at least you're getting paid. But, yeah. I've done pretty decent doing long and swing trades, but I'm very nervous to get into day trading. I see you wait for a period of interest before making a call or going up. I mean, that depends, Z. Everybody's got different strategies. What are you so nervous about? Like, you're okay. You don't really need to be nervous. That's a part of Pam's plan. Pam's plan has this built in. So if you're to do futures, you have added risk control, which protects your money. What do I mean by that really quickly, Z? Why am I saying you should not be nervous? Well, you get in an account. Let's just say you go with the 50,000 purchasing power. All that's going to require out of your pocket is 119. So let's just say absolute worst case scenario, you blow the account, they take it away from you. You are out a grand total of $119. Now, if $119, if you look at that and be like, well, no, that would send me to living under a bridge. Well, in that situation, with all due respect, I would encourage you to focus more so on your personal finances. Sounds like you have some other things you need to work on within your personal finances. But like I said, I would say nothing to be nervous about, because literally worst case scenario, things go terrible. By using a prop firm, you would be at risk of $119. So don't be nervous. Unless 119, unless that just horrifies you, which again, I would argue and encourage you to probably focus on some other areas within your personal finances. There's the break. Not really the best of volume breaks, though. You know, something like that would have been beautiful, like my face. But like this right here has me a little leery. Doesn't mean that it still can't go, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more volume on that break. I don't have to pay it back if I lose it. No, nope. No, if you lose, yeah, the 119 is just your cost to buy the account. Yeah, I know the P's cut off. I got to take the banner. That's why sometimes I remove the banner, sometimes I don't. But yeah, see, that is why I reject the premise that you need to be nervous. Now, I would totally accept the premise. I am nervous trading with my own money in futures when I'm kind of new to it. Yeah, you better be nervous. In fact, I would argue that's very silly and very dangerous and not efficient with your capital at all. But when you factor in Pam's plant, and you're using a prop firm, hey, I would argue you have nothing to be nervous about. Like I said, just the volume isn't quite here. So it is breaking, but I'm kind of skeptical. But at least it's broken. Next target, next point of the journey, right there. We'll see if it can work its way up there or not. But yeah, the lower volume nature of this breakout right now has me a bit on the leery side. We'll see though. Five-minute is also interesting because if it were to get up to that overnight high, again, same level on 2-minute, you also have that purple line you can see coming into motion right there. So you could basically have a double whammy of resistance right at that area. Not only the overnight high, but also the 50-period moving average. So just something to keep in mind. If the price gets up there, it could be an extra stubborn area of resistance. But also we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. My ego wants to short. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, you have such a tight stop. Like I wouldn't say that's an ego trade. I would say that's I see the logic there. Again, I'd say a lower probability trade, but the lower probability nature is being compensated in the fact that it'd be a very small risk. Whereas if it works out in your favor, yeah, you'd be getting paid really nicely compared to the risk. Clay, which future is a fast one again? If you're new, start with MNQ. MNQ, and then eventually move to the NQ. The NQ is very, very fast. But if you are brand new to futures, I would say, I mean, you can. It's your money. It's your whatever. I mean, go for it. But I think it would be wisest to get your feet wet with the MNQ. Again, the M standing for micro. So that's what I would say to start. But hey, if you want to just jump in both feet, clothes on, iPhone in pocket, laptop in hand, desktop monitor, car keys, if you just want to jump in with all that, go for it. Go for it. Let us know how it goes. Dose Fat Boy. So are there two of you? Two Fat Boy? Two Fat Boy 1? Or is that what I'm supposed to say? Two Fat Boy 1. Is that two Fat Boy 1? All right. Well, it's Roger. I'd say good job. Maybe Roger would still be in. I'm not quite sure. Had he shorted that, I don't know where he would have put a stop. But as of right now, it's looking like he chose wisely to refrain. Yes. Yeah. 100%. Clay, you've been trading a while. Do you feel like you trade off gut instinct sometimes since you've been in the game for a while? Yeah, but gut instinct, and this is the power, another kind of baked in thing with futures trading, and it's based off of this right here, is you don't have to scan, right? If you're doing stocks or crypto or something else, you got to scan. You got to find the hot stock. You got to find the hot crypto, all that sort of stuff. So you got to waste your time doing that. Sometimes you have to spend for scanners, but there's a baked in benefit with that is because usually you're always going to be trading something different. But with futures, you're always going to be trading the same thing. And because the same thing gives you multiple opportunities every single day. No scanning, nothing. You know what you're going to trade because the same thing, again, multiple opportunities. But with that, you get to know its personality because you're trading, you're watching the same thing every single day. So you can build up those gut instincts very, very quickly. Whereas in the world of stocks or crypto, and you're always looking at different coins or different stocks, you never can really, quote unquote, build a relationship with it because you're always you're always focusing on different things. But everything has its own personality. Every stock has its own little personality. Every future has its own little personality. But once you get to know its personality, that's what allows you to build up gut instincts. So yeah, some of the trading is via gut instincts, but they can definitely be built up a whole lot quicker if you're always watching the same exact thing every single day. And I think anybody that has experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean you're going to be a perfect trader or anything like that, but you kind of like, oh, okay, it tends to like to do this, and then you can start to factor that into your trade plans. What are the commissions in and out with Tradeovate for futures? Steve and Alicia Hill, are you thinking about doing it through a prop firm? Is that what you're asking? Or are you like, no, I'm just going to trade my own money with Tradeovate? What program is this? Okay, you're going to do it through a prop firm? I'm sorry, what is the yes in regard? Okay, good. So the commission, I'll just show you right here. So what is the commission? So for the very volatile ones, to buy and sell per contract, a total of $5. So in other words, $2.50 to buy a contract, $2.50 to sell a contract. For the less volatile ones, the micros, 50 cents total. So 25 cents to buy, 25 cents to sell. So very, very, very minimal. What program is this you're using? I'm doing a prop firm, Amber. So if you use the link that you see at the top of the page or that's pinned, it'll take you to this site. So step one would be to choose what purchasing power account you want. And then during the checkout phase, it'll ask you what platform do you want to use. And the platform that you see here is Tradeovate. And then they will go create you the login information for Tradeovate, which saves you a lot of time and hassle. And then they'll send you that information, and then you can just log into Trade08 and get started. You're welcome, Amber. You are welcome. Yeah, again, volume can have a role. All these breakouts here, the volume was just never quite there. So can't say I'm totally shocked to see it pull back a little bit. But it's hanging in there. Okay, there we go. Okay. Is it starting to cook? What time is it? No news. Are we cooking? Are we cooking? Do we need to let the bulls cook? Let them cook. Let them cook. Again, our target right now, that overnight high, that pink line. Double whammy, though, on the 5-minute. Not only is the overnight high there, you also have the purple line that's sitting right there. It does not mean it can't be broken, but we got ourselves a double whammy. Double whammy of resistance right there. Well, we're trying to let the bulls cook. Can the bulls cook up through that? Cook. Can the bulls break up through that level? Let them cook. Bit of a pullback here. This. If I was not in the penalty box, again, self-imposed penalty box. I already explained my day. I'm not reliving all that. It's at that earlier part of the stream, so if you want to go back and watch it once it gets posted, you can do that. But I would be highly, highly interested in right there, buying the pullback to right there. That seems kind of spicy if it wants to get down there. But again, because I am the penalty box, I will not be doing it, but I would be very, very tempted to do it. And I got to say, I'm pretty proud of my bladder today. The past two, I've had to go to the bathroom in the middle of them. And I can feel a little bit, but my bladder's not waving any white flags. Not too bad. Not too bad. And I've had, I think, the same amount of coffee and water, so it's not like I have any sort of apples to oranges situations. I'm just having a good bladder day, I guess. The bladder of champions. I could stay away. I made one more trade because I love that one. Just add another 180. Good job. Patient trader. One NQ is 20 points. Yes. Thank you, patient trader. Exactly. So if you are brand new to the world of futures trading with a prop firm, please just start with MNQ. That would be my recommendation. It's this still moves plenty fast, but the NQ, if you start there, buckle up. Buckle up. It ain't no joke. It can move, and it can move very, very quickly. Again, I'd be very tempted. Can it pull back to this area right here? I think that could be a very interesting long. All right, it's coming down. Here we go. All right, I would actually... It's right there. It's right there. Do we get the bounce? Do we get the bounce? Scalpers, I would say, are good. I mean, scalpers, you just got yourself about a 20-point move right there. Now, is scalping going to be the best way to go about it? We don't know that yet. We don't have hindsight in our favor. But if you did choose the scalping method, there you go. There is a nice, beautiful scalp there. But If this thing starts ripping and rolling, the scalpers are going to be sitting there saying, oh man, why did I choose to scalp? Why did I not let the thing work for me? Now, the people that are wanting it to work more, if this thing all of a sudden comes back down and crashes, they're going to be saying, oh man, why didn't I scalp? Oh, I chose the wrong way. Again, that's why neither one's ever right or wrong. Everyone has its time and place, but yeah, so that was certainly a nice quick winner for scalpers. Now the longs that wanted more, they're not feeling too good right now. That's not the most pleasant of candles to be staring at. But like I said, to be fair, it's not like they'd be knocked out or anything like that. Delay on your chart. Well, yes, this is a live stream, so I think there's about a 3-second delay. I wish the technology, and maybe the technology is there, I don't know, and maybe they just don't want to give it to you. I have no idea. But yes, live streams are usually delayed by a few seconds. Again, the people that are choosing now, I'm not scalping. I'm going to let this work for me. They're probably a little nervous right now. The scalpers are like, I'm glad I scalped. But we'll see. If this thing all of a sudden turns back around and boing, straight back up, the scalpers will be the ones regretting their life decisions. Woo-wee! That's not a great looking candle there for the longs. But they're holding strong. They're holding strong. The bears have not pressed down through that key area yet. But yeah, not the most encouraging candle from the long side, assuming, again, like I said, you're looking for more. And there it is. I don't know if that would have taken out longs per se, but yeah, the longs are probably not feeling... Let me put it this way. The longs that chose not to scalp. For me, it'd probably be like, man, I could have had a quick 30 points or 15 points. What am I doing with my life, you know? One of those discussions. Maybe, hopefully I'm not the only one that's ever had one of those, what am I doing with my life type just choices or discussions. It's hanging out. Is anybody long right now? In the chat, anybody long? Or I guess maybe is anybody short right here? Euphoric, by the way, congrats. Your price target was hit, and that was a big price target, I thought, but you got it. You got it. Congratulations, man. And you called it all out ahead of time. Well done. I don't know if you're still here. All right, I would assume the longs have now been knocked out. So yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, you know what, just picking the scalping method is going to be the smart way to go about it. But I'm sure if you've been doing it a long time, other times you're going to be like, I'm glad I didn't scalp because I just left a lot on the table. Yes, oh, that wick at 1 p.m. gotcha. Yeah, that was a nasty one. Anyways, good job. Appreciate you calling stuff out and not sitting here armchair quarterbacking in hindsight. Nothing but respect. Good job. Waiting for a discount for long. All right. Well, let us know when that discount shows up. As it pulls back. So right now the 5-minute is actually right at a pivot point. So we'll see if that pivot point holds or not. I've been fooling around a little bit with tick charts. Anybody here use a tick chart? Tick? T-I-C-K? tick chart? Anybody use these? For members that were on the webinar last night, do we have a thumb here taking shape? I don't know. Had you played it right, comma, how many points would it have been, question mark. Ticks are awesome. Great info on the chart. Yeah. I've never really used ticks before, but there's a couple of members that use them and they do well with them. I thought, hey, I've never really applied them in future, so why not? Clay, non-trading question. Have you kept in touch with that kid who got to, Sam? No, I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't. So I hope he's doing all right and everything, but I have not, to answer your question. So just watching a tick chart here. Yeah, I hope he's well too, for sure. I mean, did you come to my house as a Make-A-Wish person? Are you the person that came to my house, part of you had the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and then they were like, his wish was to hang out with me? Was that you? No, then that would be a different Sam. That was like that was the coolest experience since I've gone. Like, hey Clay, name the pinnacle accomplishment since you created your YouTube channel and all that. This right here, my pinnacle accomplishment. No, not the eviction. So right here, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but basically people that are pretty sick, they let them make a wish and all that sort of stuff. And Sam, right here, his wish was to come hang out with me. He watched a bunch of my YouTube videos and stuff while I was in the hospital going through all his treatments and all that sort of stuff. So that was his Make-A-Wish. Come hang out with me. So yeah, he came over to my house, showed him my office, talked, hung out. But yeah, that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, that is my peak accomplishment right there. Peak accomplishment. That was very humbling and a very cool experience. No, I don't have any. Like I said, I haven't heard from him for quite a while. So like I said, I hope everything's okay. That was also one of those things I still remember. Like I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting scammed. Like somebody reached out. I'm from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm like the one that I've heard of that's like pretty big. And wait, what? But yeah, I mean, it was all. They paid for what did we had? We had pizza and chicken wings, which was paid for by Make-A-Wish. Yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time. All right, still kind of waiting for this thing to settle down here a little bit. What kind of wings? I think they were just basic barbecue from a local pizza joint. This one we were back in Michigan, but yeah. I don't know, man. Asking for details like that several years ago. Goodness, I don't know. Garlic Parmesan. You are a deranged individual, good sir. You got issues. I'm kidding. Garlic Parmesan's not too bad. Jim, is any people here that was on the webinar last night? I think we're looking at a thumb trade, maybe. We might be looking at a thumb trade. I'm watching it though. We'll see if we can get a thumb trade here. Yeah, what are people's? What's the choice of wings? Mango habanero. Hard to go wrong with just basic barbecue too, but if I had to kind of get a little fancy, I'd probably go with mango habanero. Oh my goodness, force fed. Lemon pepper. Oh, I don't know if I've ever had lemon pepper. Sounds interesting though. Mango habanero though. Oh yeah. If you have not yet, hit that like button. We're going for 125. That has been the goal the entire time. I think we can get it. Just need 9 more. So if you are enjoying, hit that like button. We're waiting for the thumb trade. Part of my mentorship is Tuesday nights. There are live webinars. No, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just giving you the context. But Tuesday nights there are live webinars. We do a deep dive into the details and all this sort of stuff. And sometimes I'll interview other members, and they'll walk us through kind of their trades and all that. And last night we talked to somebody who was talking about a thumb trade. So right now, watching to see if the thumb trade can develop. Now, he did not use the tick chart for a thumb trade, but I'm curious how it would work with a tick chart. Okay. All right, we're getting closer and closer. Still got work to do for the thumb. I would say no because the average are above failed part. I would say no because the average are above failed part 1. I'm not sure what that's in part 1. I'm not sure what that's in reference to Red Tiger. I would say no, edit, not downtrend. I mean, this is a downtrend. We're below the 50 period. Like I was just discussing, Sam, last night's Tuesday night webinar we had on Nick. Nick was talking about a thumb trade, so I'm just putzing around with it. Okay. All right, well, we got our stop defined. I don't know. I see a downtrend right here. All right, here we go. I'm going to paper trade this rascal. All right, let's see. I'm going to paper trade this rascal. There we go. That's my entry point. Yeah, it was just last night, Sam. So it's in the archive now if you want to watch it. Let's go. Let's go, thumb trade. Don't chase though. In his experience, chasing never is a good thing. But we're watching. Entry point, yellow line. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it was episode 498, which is crazy. I mean, the mentorship program has been around so long that we're almost at episode 500, and I do one a week. Now, yeah, there's some, if it's something's on Christmas, I'm not going to do it. But man, we're almost at episode 500. So within the mentorship program, just in those trainings alone, like 500 hours of information. Wild. Not that you have to do them all. I'm just kind of reflecting. kind of old. But I guess that's what happens. I mean, the channel, the site, all that started back in 2013. So, been around a while. All right, I think that's the thumb. I think. All right, let's see if we can get it. Okay, 65. No, that would not be counted yet. I'm not in. I don't even know if I'm doing it right, but I'm going with it. I think I'm playing it the right way. Nick, are you here? I don't think Nick's here. He'd probably be commenting. If you can get on the live stream, get on the live stream period. I'm trying to thumb trade. I don't know if I did it right or not. Well, let's look. Okay, I tried. I just did not get filled. So I think at this point, the thumb trade would be canceled. Customer service has gotten so much better on Take Profit Trader. The account number wasn't showing up in my dashboard. Trade of what they gave. Yeah. I know they've been. I know they've been on a hiring spree, and they've already hired a lot of people. But just because you hire somebody doesn't mean they're like plug and play. They know what they're doing. So I know they've been training a lot. You don't need commas and periods in a text message. Of course you do. What kind of uncivilized savage are you? Were you raised in a barn? Yeah, I don't think this is valid anymore, but we'll see. I'm not sure this is how it works per se. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm even doing it right or not. I took some notes. This is how old I am. I still take notes on paper. Tips stay inside of the range. Cross above, then cross above, and then map out reprieve resistance, but still have to wait for dip. Okay, well, it did dip right there. Okay, right there, I mean, I don't know if I'd have been filled. I mean, maybe I'd have been filled right there. Farm animals can trade just as well as clay. Yes, especially chickens. I thought the CCI has to close with the angle down. That might be right. I'll have to go and review it too. But I mean, I that level right there seems to be, like I said, we're just seeing tick chart though right now. Got to be. I'm a fan. But I'm wondering if he would not have been filled yet, would he have canceled this order out by now? That's what I'm not quite sure of. Or maybe I shouldn't even be trying to buy yet. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Thinking of getting 2 TPT accounts. Should I go for 25Ks or 50Ks? What would you suggest? There's really no right or wrong answer to that. Do you want a little bit more drawdown? Do you want a little bit more wiggle room? Like or do you want it to be a less of a profit target? Like, what sounds better to you? I don't want to have to make as much, or I want to have a little bit more wiggle room to the downside. So maybe how would you answer that situation? I can see a better attempt an hour ago, stronger river. Yeah, maybe. Will you still help lunch for me? And do you have any payment plans? Yep. I got right here explains the payments. or I should say the ways to pay for the mentorship. Let me... There you go. Want to focus on small wins. However, with the 50K, I have to make a big... Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. But with the 50K, you also have more wiggle room to the downside. Like you have more drawdown. They'll let you lose more money. So that's what I mean. It's just give and take. Like if you want to have to make less money to hit those targets, that's fine. But that's balanced out with the fact of, well, now you don't have as much wiggle room to the downside. But if you do want more wiggle room to the downside, then yeah, it's going to require a bit more. Or is this the buy right here? Red Tiger, is this it? Because it finally popped up. Is that the thumb right there? Like, is this where I'm buying now? Maybe that's where I'm supposed to buy. Like, just right now, get in. Because it finally went up. Just passed 250K pro accounts, first time copy trading. Cool, cool. Well, I will say this area right here at 865 seems like quite the flush point. So if you were thinking I want to short down on a break of there, I don't blame you one bit at this point. So is that the short with the stop up above those highs? Again, no guarantees, but I would not call you crazy. That seems like quite the well-established area here where the bulls are certainly holding strong right at that level. Wow. I would think too much time passed and he would have passed. Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you, Red Tiger. But again, DYLS Dills, is that how you say your name, Dills? It's really just a question of what you're looking. I don't know. Are you open to trying one of each, and then kind of seeing how you want to go about it? You could do that, and maybe that would be the best. See which one jives with you better. So after being funded, how can you lose the account with the same rules? Same rules as the other one. You can't you can't lose those same amounts that you have. No, you don't have to apologize for asking questions. Sorry, last question on TPT. Once you go above the buffer, does the trailing? Yes. Yep, exactly. You go above the buffer, the trailing drawdown stops, and then it just becomes a question of, and this is where everybody will give you different answers. Do you want to leave money in there to build up your buffer, or do you want to start paying yourself as quickly as possible? Or do you want to maybe do a little bit of both? But yes, you have a good understanding, Dill. So as I'm thinking about it, I think for you, maybe just try getting one of both. Oh, you're going to copy trade? This is not supported by any like data or study that I'm aware of. Man, that would have worked out nice though, Red Tiger. But anyway, it seems like 50K I think are the most popular. Again, just because something's most popular doesn't make it the best or anything like that. But I think from my understanding, those are usually the most popular accounts, and I can see why. They're not crazy. You don't have a massive drawdown, but you also don't have massive profit goals either. But yes, if you would like for my kids to eat more than rice and beans, please consider using code CLAY to support the channel. Red Tiger, I don't know, man. When I said, okay, is that the buy? That was right here. When I was asking, is that the buy? And then boom, like that. But I don't know if I played that right. Maybe we can get Nick to review this. Usually, sometimes he's on the live stream. He is not here today, so... But right there, that's pretty spicy. It's kind of spicy. Very nice bounce. Thanks, Dills. Appreciate it. He says mate, so he's probably, I don't know, is that Australia? Or is that, what country are you in? Is that Australia or are you over in like the UK or something? Hey, we're going for 125 likes today. That was the goal at the beginning. So if you are enjoying and you'd like to help us get to that goal and you have not hit the like button, if you wouldn't mind hitting it, that helps out. Helps with the algorithm, helps support the channel, helps communicate to me that you are enjoying. As long as I know people you're in the UK. All right, I don't know if I knew that. I guess I was... Good day, mate. Yeah, I thought that was always Australian. I guess that's... can be the UK too. Very, very nice. All right, well, there we go. We have that. And maybe I can have Nick come review it by watching this in the archive, see if I had it right or not. But we'll move that out of the way, and we'll be back here on the 2-minute time frame. How did you get the 100 lines on your CCI? The good old-fashioned way, I added them manually. If there's another way to do it, please let me know, but I don't know that. I think it would have hit 1R. Yeah, no, that was a huge move. That would have been fantastic. Thumb trade for the win. And one more like, and we're at 125. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, the thumb trade. Kind of getting spicy. Maybe if I learn it better, maybe I'll get a prop firm account, and it's then only thumb trades, and we'll see what happens with it. Maybe that'll be that. Maybe that might be fun for the live stream. The thumb trade account. The only issue could be thumb trades don't happen like all the time, so it could be kind of few and far between. No, all right. So if usually I started about 10. Okay, no. There would have been actually quite a few thumb trades we could take. Okay. Maybe I'll have to think on it. I mean, that was a great trade, though. I wouldn't have done that one. The stop was too many points for my comfort. You really, even with just one MNQ, would it still been too much? One MNQ would have been too much? Well, we are getting back up into that previous congestion area. On the 5-minute. Oh, just noticed that. We're right at that tread line there, but... this area here has been, broadly speaking, filled with all sorts of sellers. Of course, that does not mean that the sellers are for sure still up here, but I would suggest it's probably smart to at least question whether or not there's still a bunch of sellers up here, because they've been up here before. Am I currently journey? Yep, fair enough. Yeah, we are... right at that area, and of course we have the 200 period right there. Getting to the party late. To answer the question about the plus-minus lines on the CCI, there's a community indicator, trade of 8. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Let's I'm going to get spicy. Let me cook. So, community indicators. Okay. What? Huh? All right, let's try that again. I guess there's a bit of a delay here. All right. And I want, what is it called? CCI 2. This right here must be it. CCI 2. CCI, yeah, that's what he said. All right, install. Let me cook. Okay, I think I'll have to log out and back in if I remember right. I don't think it's still going to be there. Do I got to log out, Kelly? I'm out. Good luck. Take care, Nero. Do I need to log out? You don't? Well, where is it? Am I blind? Am I dented? Kelly, I don't see him. I think I do need to log out. It's under tools. It's under this right here, CE tools. No, it ain't. Kelly, I'm about to show you. Watch this. Watch this. Tell me I don't have to log out. Can't believe you lied to me. Can't believe you did that. It's dirty. All right. All right, let's get logged back in here. All right. Now let's click on indicators. No, still not there. Oh, tools. There it is right there. So we don't know. I never clicked on that. All right. What did you say? I have the signal line unselected. Yeah, I don't want no signal line. That's 0. That's the CCI. Is this the 20? Doesn't Nick use the 20? Isn't that the... I think Nick used the 20, isn't it? Red Tiger, isn't it the 20 that he uses? Or is it the 14? I think it's the... Hey, we're up over 125 likes. Good. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Mission accomplished. Of course, we can always push the limits. Go for some more. I could have sworn it was a 20. I don't remember now. What is this? It is the 20. Why is this? Why is your little bootleg when you tell me the 14? What kind of bootleg nonsense are you selling? Or are you sending here? All right, there it is, brothers. Oh, I don't know. That seems... Okay, I don't care about the signal line. We can get, or excuse me, the 0 line. I don't think I care about that. There we go. All right, I guess that's not terrible. All right, we'll see. We'll track this. We'll watch for some more thumbs as we go, but I don't know if I necessarily like it just because is that making the chart kind of harder to see now? Because now it's getting all congested. I don't think it looks too bad. No, I think that still looks pretty good. All right. All right, all right. I'm just trying to cook. Just let me cook. That's all I ask. I don't ask for much on this live stream, but just let me cook. That is what it is right there. What is that? There you go. Hey, brother. All right, where are we at? We're over 3 hours. Yeah, we'll go for a little while longer. I can feel my mind starting to shut down a little bit, but hey, I got a little bit more in you. You probably get asked this a lot, but how long did it take for it to become? Come on, man. You already asked me this. Actually, I don't know if you did or not. I don't remember. What definitely wasn't overnight. At least a year. Did I ever want to quit? No, because it was fun. It still is fun. It's not as fun as it was now, just because in all actuality, trading should not be fun. If it's fun, that suggests that you have like an adrenaline rush and that like you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Like it's like a roller coaster. That's not really what you want when you trade. So while I'm not saying that you should never that trading shouldn't be fun per se, it shouldn't be fun in the sense of, this is great. I love the adrenaline. I love the dopamine spikes like I get when I'm at the casino. No, that's not how it should feel. It should feel a little boring of, okay, here's the plan. Here's where it makes sense. Now we got to wait. Now we got to be disciplined. So no, I never wanted to quit because it's always been fun. It's a different type of fun right now. Yeah, exactly. There is Vegas if you like that. Exactly. But no, and I think Roger is somebody that's also profitable. I don't know, and maybe you would disagree, but I don't know. Like for you, was there ever a moment where like you're like, boop, oh, I'm profitable now? I don't know if there's like some sort of like cut and dry, like, well, on this date, 1987, it was 2:32 a.m. Pacific time. I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm profitable. I don't know if that's how it works. It kind of seems like, at least for me, like maybe it was different for you, but I'm not quite sure there was like an exact date. Or like maybe like an exact moment. Like, I am now profitable. Because there's been many times in the journey where you think you're profitable, but then actually, no, you're not. Oh, I'm profitable. Oh, wait, maybe not. So it kind of gets blurry because of that. But like I said, that's just, I don't know, maybe any of you here that would say that you're profitable, that it's like, oh yeah, I became consistent on that date at that time. Hey, Emmy, you keep asking all these questions. I know where there's a spot where you can go to learn. That's all I'm telling you. You already know where you can find all these answers with a dedicated community and all that. You already know the answers. Lunch over, Clay, at my next stop. Have a good one. Yeah, you too, Red Tiger. You too. All right, well, I'm mentally burnt out. So, yeah, if you don't mind, let me get my sales pitches in. I am offering a free webinar tomorrow. If you'd like to learn more about the tools I'm using and how I build consistency, manage risk, all that, you can check that out at that link. It is free. So be sure to check that out. And like I said, it'll be tomorrow evening. So would love to have you. And then if you want to trade alongside me and other really good can you tell it's been a long time, quality traders, I do offer this right here. This is my private community. Check that link out. Again, would love to have you. It's not free, but it's also not expensive. But the minimal price tag does a great job in keeping out trolls and drama queens and pump and dumpers and all that sort of stuff. So check that out. Oh, Emmy, all I can do is check my, yeah, looks like I'm not going to worry. Okay, all right. Anyways, so you can check that out. And again, if you want to get started with Pam's Plant, so Pam's Plant being the argument to day trade. So this is for those wanting to be day traders or maybe already are day traders, but you got something that you want to change. Consider Pam's Plant, which is an argument for day trading futures through a prop firm. So if you do indeed want to do that and then help support the channel and use the prop firm that I am suggesting and recommending, then you can just use that link that's at the top of the page, or I'll put it here in the chat room. And then code Clay at checkout, and that is a way you can do that. For you battle-hardened prop firm traders, again, this is only for those of you that are very advanced in your prop firm ways. You know all the rules. You know how to, tiptoe and dance through all the rules. And you're looking for more of an, like I said, not a beginner-friendly prop firm. But Apex right now is actually doing a 90% off sale. So if you're interested in that, the 90% and want to support the channel again, code Clay will allow you to just help support the channel and give you that 90% off deal. But again, if you are a beginner, if you're just getting started in prop firms, do not do this one. Do not. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get super overwhelmed. It's not going to turn out well for you. So that is all I have for everybody. So as always, thanks for hanging out. And I will be back tomorrow. The plan is at the very latest, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So until then, take care, everybody. Have a good one, and be smart with your trading. Have a good one, everybody.